start all, and then go to social stream, and we'll do auto find and activate. Oh, we gotta wait until it starts. Auto find and activate again. What? Hold on, get rid of this. What do you mean no? What do you mean? It's right there. All right, we'll give it a second. Auto find. What? All right, I guess I'll give it a minute and then I'll start it up, but everything's active. I'll find and activate you. I'm not stopping you. What do you mean no new streams? This is Social Stream Ninja. Why is this? Why is there water? Why did I put my hand on my desk and there's water? Oh, is YouTube suppressing me because I put bomb in the title? Hey, there it is. Okay, never mind. We just had to wait a little bit. Help, help, I'm being repressed. All right, so yeah, we've traditionally on this channel, we've like a long time ago, this is the music, by the way, Rally House for Cruising into the Void. I found these playlists through Moon, actually. I didn't expect it. Something about like us boomers on this platform, and boomers and bombs, and the you know, internet age boomers. We're not actual boomers. We're millennials, which are old and decrepit at this point, and our love of house music. Just something about it. All right, so technically YouTube is on stream. I'm just going to do a quick, I didn't test to see if you guys were, do a little quick test right there. Okay, that works. All right, so everybody's on screen now. All the inane Twitch chatters. Came for the steering wheel, stayed for the birthday girl tag. I found that the other day. I'm glad you noticed. I'm glad somebody noticed the inane tags that I put on. Yeah, so I was saying my brother found a new interior in the junkyard that he liked better, and so he gave me this one. And yes, last night I was going through the real OEM parts catalog to try to figure out what the hell car he had. Who knew that seats were so complicated in these cars? They have some of these things that have LIN bus, the system that we use to communicate with the steering wheel. They have the LIN bus going all the way to the headrest, because they put like speakers and shit in these cars. It's insane. This seat had a computer sitting under it. My brother stole the computer, which is fine. I don't need it. To chin bus, head bus, apply directly to the forehead. Insane. It's insane. There's a wiring harness for this seat. But the thing is, what we can potentially do is very, very funny. I can make a controller that takes over for all this stuff, right? I can make a controller, my own little box, that will be a LIN bus to CAN bus converter, and it can also do all the seat functions, which is basically taking these switch inputs and turning them into motor activation, right? And it can do that pretty directly. I mean, I could just do that with some wires, right? I could send some wires over to a little relay board or a little solid state, like a FET motor controller board, and I could give these 5 volts, and then I could control the little MOSFET switches to move the motors. That's all well and good, but listen, this is Twitch TV. Oh, bother you're watching. And so I'm not just going to do that. What I'm going to do, yeah, upgrade them to CAN bus. I'm going to keep the LIN bus wheel. Everybody else is going to CAN bus, because in the open force feedback wheel system, the what do you call it? The controller speaks CAN bus, and you can have 64 buttons in the CAN bus. So 64 buttons in all of your analogs can exist in CAN bus. So I'm going to convert stuff over to the CAN bus. I might want to keep the circuit boards that I already made and just use like a LIN to CAN converter, because that's the way it's going to be. Everything else will be CAN bus. So we're going to make a box that goes to the seat and controls all that stuff with CAN bus. But I also want that box to speak Node Red. I want it to be a part of the MQTT system in the shop, because then I can quickly roll in stuff. You guys can adjust my chair for me while I'm driving. And I think that's hilarious, because I'll be driving and the seat will start getting further and further away from the wheel. What are you guys doing? Wait, what are you guys doing? Hey! Shop could light up red when you hit the brakes. That's another thing. Yeah, I could send, if I'm sending the data back into Node-RED somehow, which is not, that's like trivial to do. I could just send data right back, and then I could have other stuff interact. I could have, my warning lights do stuff. I could have the lights turn on and off and stuff. I need to set up those LED strips around so there's like more fun stuff. Because yeah, it would be funny if you guys have like a face cam of me driving and I hit the brakes and like it's all red. Oh my God, panic brake, and then everything turns red. That'd be great. So those are the things we can think about. I mean, they're fun to think about. I'm not doing them quite yet. In terms of the electric dog collar, me trying to jump on some Hasanabi drama. Actually, boy, I've already weighed in about that. You guys know how I feel about the whole thing. But my setup turns off lights when I'm in gear and changes cams automatically. That sounds fascinating to me because I was thinking about this, and if I'm going to stream with this setup, it's going to have a place where the mixer sits. I'm going to have a keyboard. I'm going to have a mouse. It grows exponentially, unfortunately. If I'm going to be able to actually control things while I'm streaming, which I will do, but I could also, technically I could, put a couple of the little camera mounts that I have, the little snap-in camera mounts, and then I would just plop cameras down and then it would automatically flip to those. That could be also another possibility. In neutral for more than 10 seconds, room lights come back on and the cam changes to the pedal cam. Oh, changes off of the pedal cam. Oh, that's crazy. If you guys, anybody who's listening who's not Flatulent Gonad, he's probably the only actual viewer, check out his stream because he does a lot of very, very interesting stuff with multiple cameras and overlays and things like that. It's a delight to actually watch. Yeah, all that stuff I think I can configure with a spider web of node linkages. That would be very interesting to do. Adjusting the seat, though, would also be very, very funny. Today we have to get in here and take the backing off, and then there's the airbag that comes out of this side. I don't want to just set off the airbag for shits and giggles, because while it would be very popular to do and it might be a viral clip, maybe, I don't want the dust. I don't want the sound. I have headphones or earplugs or whatever, shooting ear. I have Ear Pro. There we go. And I could put that on and we could set off the boomf in here. I don't think it would shatter glass or anything like that. Open the window. It would be fascinating. There's a lot of force behind these airbags. Everything happens very quickly. But what it does is it breaks this. It breaks the plastic to back of the seat interface when the airbag energetically exits. So I'm not going to do it. Seatbelt tensioner activating when you brake is an option to add. It would be like, I don't have the... A lot of the seatbelt tensioners are actually ballistic. You'd have to find one that is not ballistic. Or hook it up to a linear actuator that could break your arm. You wouldn't need the full 600 millimeters on your linear actuator. But if I did need a full 600 millimeters on a linear actuator, I'm not saying that I can't. We clamped this thing. Oh, it's full of dog hair. Oh my God. It's been sitting on the, like leaning up against the wall for a long time. So it's been collecting dog hair. Willow sheds a lot. Did you guys know that? Corgis are an investment in clogging everything you own that is an air passageway with fur. Need to make one. You would need to buy the little brother to this thing. I think, because this would be able to quickly exert enough force to pull a human body back. There are probably other ways you could do it too, but this would be my choice, is to have something electric and linear actuatory and controllable and force sensitive so you don't break yourself on it. Like you could make this do force sensing with a good controller and then it wouldn't break you if it's pulling you back and you're resisting it. It's cheaper than leaning your seat. These are very expensive. These guys new, but you can find them on eBay, but also they're prohibitive voltage. You see this damage right here? There's a little bit of damage to the aluminum where it fell off the truck. And that's why this thing ended up in my dirty, grubby hands. I think maybe I might want to replace this motor with something that's not 300 volts, because this is a very high voltage motor. I could probably put one of those, the gear reduction things right there that are on the bench back there. I could put a gear reduction and then one of the, whatever it is, the outrunner motors on it. And then that would maybe make this actuator a little bit lower voltage and slower. I would love it if I had 5 more of these things, because this is too much distance 600 millimeters. But if I had more of these, I could put them into an actual like motion rig. Look at that. Look at the amount of extension on that. That's criminal. I hooked this thing up and I had it doing a test routine, and I put a block of wood up against this thing and it was pushing me back, and I was leaning into it like a linebacker, and I'm 270 pounds. Was 280 pounds. Now I'm 269. Nice. Yeah, I've been losing weight, but I've plateaued. So I need to make more sacrifices in terms of me actually eating. And let me tell you right now, it is not me being hungry and needing to eat. It has been entirely me deciding that I would eat or not, and having too much food availability around me. So I'm going to fix that in the next couple of weeks. I'm going to make some efforts to say no to food. Say no to food, kids. And I'll probably magically lose a bit more weight because of that. And I've also been walking the dog a lot more. We've been going longer distances. So slowly but surely, I'm making an effort and somewhat succeeding. It's just for right now, I'm a little disheartened because I've plateaued. I plateaued. This should be pretty cool. Disarming the seat is going to be trivial. I just put it in the title. But then we need to kind of explore this thing and maybe get it to lean forward a bit less. My brother leaned it all the way forward in order to take it out of the car. And then somehow this motor went missing and I don't have it. I think he even showed it to me in the back of his car, but he might have stolen it for his own interior. So I bought a new motor, and I bought this piece, which had the two shafts that come out of that motor and, you know, move this thing forwards and backwards on the rails. So for right now, I cannot move it forwards and backwards on the rails. I'm not sure what distance from the rails to the pedals. I want to get these cross beams off of the pedals so that we can, and the enclosure for the controller off of here, so that we can lie this down on the floor and I can get an assessment of where everything kind of sits. Yeah, I don't have any kind of a seatbelt while using this thing, but that would be pretty funny if you took over a seatbelt kicker with, like, I do have some pneumatics. I could potentially put it on pneumatics. I could have, because I've got little, from the same place that I got the big linear actuator, I've got these pneumatic just like pushers that I could potentially hook up to the end of a seatbelt, or just like buy a seatbelt and then figure out how to like disarm the kicker. Figure out what the, actually, well, but if you did that, it would be easier to do pneumatics, wouldn't it? Because the ballistic seatbelt arrestor, the pullback thing, it's done with ballistic pneumatics. So you would just hook an air hose up to it. And then you could, hoo-ah, and give yourself the seatbelt bruise that people who've been in car accidents have. Do you think we're going to get a lot of viewers from my title shenanigans? Probably not. Yeah, we're currently in the start soon era. 0 concurrent viewers. Yeah, that's going to do it. I wonder if Twitch is going to do anything to like, or YouTube is going to do anything to suppress that title. Probably. There's a bomb in the seat, though. It's true, right? There is a ballistic, it's a little ballistic detonator, 2 probably, ballistic detonators that can be set off with 12 volts. They're probably like a nichrome set off, just like a gas thing. And they're designed to expel lots of gas very quickly so that you have a nice soft thing to get, you know, chemical burns from, or sorry, friction burns from, as a tanker plows into the side of your car. Anyway, how's everybody else's week shaping up? I tried to power up Willow's dog collar in the interim. I had it powered on for about a day. This is sort of one of those last steps that you do in a device like this. Well, it's sort of like a mid project step with something like this, because if my dog's going to be wearing it, if it's going to be sitting up on a coat hanger for an extended period of time, I need to know that nothing weird happens with it. And unfortunately, something weird happened with it. When I tried to turn it back on, I came down here during the evening and I tried to turn on the dog collar again. Turn on the dog collar. He's from Pennsylvania. Anyway, I tried to turn on the dog collar and it just didn't turn back on. And when I got it to work again, it was doing weird stuff. What's up, Lines and Squares? How you doing? It was like doing weird stuff. So I don't know if I'm done with this yet. I think there might be other stuff that I need to check or turn off when we go into our deep sleep mode, or when we go into our slightly less than deep sleep mode. When we go into radio off, there's other stuff that I think I need to turn off, and it's mentioned in the documents for the ESP32, or sorry, this Zhao ESP32. Actually, no, the ESP32 mentions it. It says if you go into sort of radio off mode, you have to also turn off this, that, and the other thing. And I tried one of the other things, and it didn't come up because I guess it's not loaded into the IDE. Like, we're not doing anything with Bluetooth, so the Bluetooth modem isn't on, so I don't need to like sleep the Bluetooth modem, but I don't know what I need to do with the Wi-Fi. Doing well. Are we doing the stream setup? Yes, we will be having love making with. No, we're doing the car the sim setup, not stream, sim. The simulator, the car simulator setup, and then eventually I can build in. Where do those things go? Let me go fish out. Fish out some of my sim stuff. The other sim stuff is sitting in pieces, so I'll have to put those back together too. But I'm gonna have to unify all these systems. This thing is very dusty. There's so much dust. This is potentially another source of hardware for us, but this is part of my joystick setup. Part of the joystick setup here is a right and a left hand Warthog. And then I've got over here, sitting in the other dust archive. Oh my God, it's so dusty. My X65F throttle would also like to make its way into this mess. Bless this mess. Because this is by far and away the best throttle that I own, and it's one of the better ones out there too. From the force-sensitive X65. Dual-wielding feral warthogs. The dust archive, I'm stealing that phrase. I had to make a bean archive today. We bought so many cans of bean. I said, hey, you know what? Next time you do the shopping, pick up some beans, because they last a long time, and they're good to put in chilies and stuff. And so now we have 2 of every type of can of bean in the supermarket. And so I had to make the bean archive. I've already done this on stream, is dust off my X65, but now there's a new, fresh, thick layer of dust on the whole thing. It's crazy. This is stuff that sits on an open shelf. Got to close up all the shelves so I can mitigate dust in here. I'm like an old vampire. Flawed. What are they doing on the outside? What are the trends? I don't know. I've been locked in here for centuries. This has all kinds of castles, little hats. It's got knobs up and down, and then it's got a switch, and then it's got a mouse. It's got a little mouse right there, and then it's got more hats, just all the hats. So this is definitely going in the sim setup. This is going to be a major part of it. And I've got holes drilled in the bottom so that I can fit it to a rail, to one of the 80/20 rails. Oh yeah, and you can split it apart. You can kick it apart like Washington. Yeah. Then you have 2 throttles. And dust, more dust. I had to put gaffer's tape on the top because the paint was chipping away. But getting this thing, because this thing plugs into the PC, but then it also plugs into the X65, and I don't need it to do that. So I think I need to do an electronics overhaul of the whole thing so that it becomes a bunch of analog axes. Oops, somehow my mic cable got under the steering wheel. Why does it do this? It gets into places that it shouldn't. Okay. Looks really complicated. It shouldn't be that bad. It should not be that bad because using open force feedback steering wheel, using open force feedback steering wheel, I can put all this stuff onto the CAN bus, and then it's just one single controller. Although I don't know if I want to have the joystick separate from the steering wheel. I need to put a thumb mouse on one of my sticks. Yeah, this is a crazy part about this thing. It's got just this really, it's got a good return on it, and it's just soft, and you can click it down. So this can be a mouse if you want it to be. I don't know if I want it to be. I think I'd rather just have a right-handed mouse on the setup when you're sitting on it. But I mean, if I really want it, woo! That's really why I want to use this one, because it's so full of controls. It's so many controls. I could maybe play Star Citizen with it effectively. Might be nice for trims. Yeah, there's like trim. This one's a trim. Actually, this one's a selector. This one's actually a little, it's got a little detent on it, now I'm feeling. It's got so much stuff that it's going to fill up all the axes of a normal controller. So the debate is whether or not I put those on their own, like teensy, and then I'll have them, I won't have them available when I'm using the steering wheel. I'll flip it over to the other one. Then again, if I have the seat, all that dust is starting to get to me. Hold on. If I have the seat controls on the steering wheel, I might as well put everybody else on there. But then open force feedback, by the way, also has provisions for joysticks that have force feedback. But I've found like the force feedback is really a personal thing. If I am going to be personally playing the simulator game and not on stream or for any particular goal, the force feedback always makes me slower. It always, no matter what. Having it just as a you know, like a tactile thing, having a thick steering wheel that's got a little bit of momentum behind it, and having all the buttons available to me, that's really what we're going for with the sim stuff. The force feedback is going to be kind of an afterthought on the whole thing, and that's why I'm willing to go to open force feedback instead of the Grant Devices stuff. Grant Devices stuff was a little clunkier, so this way I can sort of help unify all this, so that I have like one USB hub that I plug into my computer, and then one HDMI that I plug into the monitor, and that'll be the whole setup. Some games only like the first 20 or 32 buttons per controller, so it might be worth splitting up all the chunks. Yeah, that might be the other thing. I would love to unify everything so that's like all 64 buttons and all 8 or 9 axes, analog axes are all on the same thing, but I may have to either put something in the steering wheel controller so that I can flip it so that the flight controls are first, or have it be 2 separate devices, in which case I would be using a teensy microcontroller and configuring everything on my own. There would be no force feedback in that sim setup. But I could put it all on there. Here's 4 different devices. I would assume mine becomes quite a few devices. Here, wait, open force feedback. Viard. Where's the GitHub, bro? Hey, yeah. Do. There's like a diagram. Yeah, here it is. Six analog axes. Brake pedal, gas pedal, clutch pedal, steering. Well, the steering is position, so we don't need that. A joystick is 6. So yeah, so they are going to be separate devices. They are indeed going to be separate devices. The steering wheel is strong enough for arm removal. If we're talking about me sensationalizing the project so that I can make popular titles that have words like bomb in them, yes, it is capable of eviscerating you. It will spin you much like a Russian lathe. But no, in actuality, if you're actually holding onto the steering wheel competently and confidently, you can stop it when it's trying to move you at full force. Electric motors make maximum torque at a standstill. The electronics are only able to put so much into the motor. They are Granite Devices controllers. They're not the one that I want, which eventually I'll get, considering Burn the Subs has to go back up so that my bank account can take the hit of me buying the good motor controller board that'll be able to actually utilize the entire torque of the motor. But as of right now, I've got a lot of torque going into the thing. It's an absolute workout to move back and forth, but my upper body strength is such that if this thing is trying to move me at its maximum torque, I can just hold it back. I can actually start overcoming it. It's got hard bump stops on either end that are virtual, and so the motor resists you. You turn the wheel, turn the wheel, turn the wheel, and it goes dink, and it kind of bumps up against where it's trying to say, hey, I'm stopping you. And I say, no, you're not. And I go, brrr, and I can move it past that point. If you were caught off guard and you had your thumb where it shouldn't be, which off-roading advice, don't stick your thumbs into the wheel if you're off-roading. Keep those thumbs out. It is 2 horsepower, yes. The power of 2 horses, although 2 horses could definitely fuck me up. They could take me out. Horsepower and the actual power of horse is completely different. But anyway, off-roading, don't put your thumbs in the wheel. And so if you were caught off guard and you had your thumb in the wheel on this thing and it decided to go crazy, maybe with all of its torque and it was able to build up a little bit of inertia, it might break your thumb, but it probably wouldn't. It would probably just hurt a lot. How big are the horses? Yeah, they're not Clydesdales, you know? Clydesdales? Clydesdales. I don't think that's right. Yeah. Testing my thumbs versus 2 horses. That sounds wrong. That sounds kind of wrong. Dales Clydes. Dinsdale Piranha. He used irony. Onomatopoeia. These have a center detent, and I don't know what I'd do with them. They're pretty cool. I just don't know what I'd... There's the detent on that one, yeah. Controls at my thumbs for all kinds of cool stuff. For the Star Citizen, back when Star Citizen was a spaceship game, not a wander around a city game, when it was a spaceship game, I had a MIDI panel that would also sit on all this stuff, and I had it mounted to the joystick clamp so that you had control of things like interior lights and stuff like that. So I could fully do like a checklist and, you know, power on engines, turn off the interior lights, turn on the exterior lights, you know, this, that, the other thing, and, you know, get on the joystick and do the takeoff and everything. It was awesome. But unfortunately, that game is like scope creep the game, and it kind of ran with it, and to the point where it is now an FPS that has spaceships in it, that you have very good simulator flying of spaceships in your FPS, which not my scene. I would rather be flying spaceships, but I put a lot of money into Star Citizen, so I hope one day it comes out. You know? Do you have any plane stuff or just car sim stuff? We were just looking at my incredible throttle and all the axes it has, as well as the right and left hand Warthog. There was a fellow who made left-hand Warthogs. Nowadays, obviously, I'd print it, but this guy did the full like mold with the extracting the air and all that stuff, and poured plastic into the mold and made this wonderful left-handed Warthog. I have somewhere in my archives, I have that button plate, but I have a modification on the button plate where I have a cutout for an up-down analog axis that I want to add to that. I want to add it to the joystick. So the one joystick on the right is a USB device, but then I'd have to have the one on the left, I don't know, speak some other language. Maybe we'd play with the CAN bus more and we'd have CAN bus going to both joysticks. That makes it a little bit more proprietary. Like if something breaks, I can't just go out and order another one, but it would be the kind of stuff we do. Maybe we will make the entire joystick setup speak CAN bus. And then we can redesign the foot pedal electronics so that it also speaks CAN bus. We did a lot of work on the foot pedals that go along with this setup. I don't have them out right now. They're actually in pieces. They're pretty cool. They're from VKB. And what VKB did is they wanted you to use their controller for all of your joystick stuff. So they sell this like little orange anodized aluminum box. This is many years ago when I bought this stuff. There's a little orange anodized aluminum box of electronics that has all of these plugs on the outside. And you're supposed to plug your foot pedals and your joystick and your throttle all into this thing and have it be one device. It spoke some proprietary language. We were looking at the packet. This is some real hardcore reverse engineering stuff that we did back in the day. I wish all these projects to bubble up again, because then I could show to my audience and to Twitch alike that I am no scrub. We know our stuff when it comes to reverse engineering. We were looking at the digital packets that were coming out of this thing, and it was vexing me. I was contacting some of my old buddies from reverse engineering electronics. I had a guy who reverse engineers software for the government that I was talking to, And he was looking at the ones and zeros like, dude, I can't make heads or tails of this. And I was like, all right, I'll take a look at it more. And I was like living, like these were haunting me. I was seeing them when I closed my eyes, these ones and zeros that I was trying to rein in and figure out what they were doing. And the fact is, one half of the packet never agreed with the second half of the packet, and nothing looked like uniform data. It turns out, and this is just on a whim, this is from my experience with RF stuff, thinking, well, what if we are XORing, we're applying an XOR to the packet? What if we XOR the two together? Will that make something competent? And it turns out it did, and I was too stubborn to realize, because once we did that, all of a sudden there was a checksum, there was a sort of like a, not a checksum, there was at the very beginning of the signal, there was like a timing calibration, like, you know, most one wire signals have. You have like a little 1010 to kind of sync everybody up to the same clock. And then there was like an ID bracket, and then there was data. And the data I was able to put on the Arduino plot. And I thought it didn't work, because what it would do, it would start from an arbitrary position. This was an ATtiny85 hooked up to a magnetometer that looks at the spin of a magnet. And so what I was able to plot was it would climb, and then go back down to 0, and then climb. So it turns out the controller, in the range of high to low values, would choose an arbitrary position for 0, and it would only be able to track a spin of 180 degrees. And that's by pushing the pedals down, because the pedals like are counter to one another. Yeah, deep in the thicket. Listen, the Russians that make VKB decided, hey, we're going to make our own proprietary signal that's tough to find. And they genuinely made it tough to find, because it was like the data was crazy. How are these communication packets related to one another if all we're doing is incrementing a foot pedal just a little tiny bit at a time? I even went to the point where we hooked it up to a motor, and I had the motor timed out so that I would be able to know what angle we were putting into this thing. And so we were able to plot the packets per angle, and they didn't make any sense until we XORed it together, and then I put it onto an Arduino plot. It was crazy. That was a lot of really good reverse engineering. It was damn hopeless. Everybody was going, just reprogram the ATtiny, just reprogram the ATtiny. I'm like, no, I don't want to do that. I want to actually solve this. But now I probably will just reprogram the ATtiny so that the thing speaks the same language as all the other pieces of this complicated pile of electronics. I went to the wrong camera. This complicated pile of electronical doodads that'll help me make a sim pit. But yeah, the reprogramming that, making it speak CAN bus, probably getting into this thing and figuring out how to take over all the different bells and whistles. Same with the joysticks. Each joystick should probably speak CAN bus from now on. I get into my own head thinking I'll never figure out what I'm reversing. That's the tough part for me, is the mountain of work it takes to make a schematic out of a device. Like any old device you take and you don't have the schematic, you have to individually get all the pieces. This is what happened to the M303, and I'm still kicking myself over that, because I got two M303s that belong to people. They're not mine, and I don't think I'll ever consider them to be mine, even though the people who sent them, one of them is Dave's. He brought it over. He said, can you do anything to it? And I said, yeah, of course I can fix it. And then the other one, a viewer saw me fixing the M303 and said, hey, I'm going to send you mine. If you can't fix it, that's fine. I certainly can't fix it, and they're not responding to my emails. So they sent me this thing with like no strings attached. I've had it for like a year, and I haven't fixed it. And so we need to do some more hardcore M303 fixing. We have reverse engineered 90, 80, 70, 60% of that circuit board. But this is the part that gets me. It is genuinely a lot of work. You have to research the circuit structure, research how they typically go about doing things. Then you have all of the individual differences, and you have to reconcile that into a schematic that highlights the differences in the designs, as well as allows you to navigate through the circuit. And so when you just put down what all the component values, what the hell happened to you? Oh, come on. This thing was like 40 bucks. Oh, the screen's all manky. Well, at least it's just a plastic screen over the real screen. I can still use it. It's just I'm not going to have as much fun. These are the multimeter tweezers that I bought. They're a more modern version of the the Canadian ones. Hold on, my voice is scratchy. Oh, that was a lot of coughing. Yeah, I mean, I guess they're okay. That's where the value is? No, that's the range. Still, it's like... All right. This is probably for me putting it in a weird spot. I keep it in a pencil bin. I probably shouldn't be in a pencil bin. I just don't have any drawer space for it. Oh, we're at an okay. I've been pre-streaming for too long. All right, let's get this out of here. Music away. All right. So I did a little bit of cheating on this thing. I have done a little bit of research ahead of time on this, but welcome to Twitch. Twitch is no bother. I'm also on YouTube. What are we doing today? Well, we're going back to some of my roots. There's burn the subs, and then there's simulator stuff, and those are sort of two things that I hold near and dear to my heart. The gaming hardware stuff is something I particularly enjoy. I mean, I'm an electronics guy. Of course, I love this kind of stuff. You can very easily get yourself a $20 Teensy 3.0 and a bunch of potentiometers, and you can build your own USB device in an afternoon, right? That's totally something that you can do. I can do it too. I can do some slightly more phenomenal things. And indeed, once you unlock that sort of potentiometer to USB device, literally all you need is a pull-down menu on the Teensy. So the hardest part of it is installing Teensy and finding an example code and understanding it. Once you understand that, though, if you know how to do some stuff with other sensors, you can start building stuff that's genuinely weird. And what people have done, Rootism and a bunch of other YouTubers and Twitch streamers alike, have done genuinely interesting setups using the touch compatible pins of the Teensy. Pull down menu, touch compatible, figure out somebody else's project and load up their software or make your own. It's not that complicated. You just give it a range and tell it it's this button on the joystick. And you can plug in bananas, and you can have bananas that control a fighting game, and you can play a fighting game touching bananas. You don't need to mess with a button matrix for this. You can just, because the Teensy has so many pins. Any Teensy has so many pins that you can just go directly to the pin, and that's indeed what Xbox has done traditionally. I think the other game controllers might do that too. They abandoned the matrix for direct button to controller connections. Yeah, the $40 one, the $20 ones will have a lot of pins, less pins for the less expensive ones, but get the new ones so you don't have to worry about how fast it can go. The thing is fucking like 1,000 megahertz. The thing is faster than my computer. Anyway, the point is you can very easily make a USB game device. And that's what I love doing. I love making devices that do cool stuff. And so this has been something near and dear to my heart. I've been working on it for quite some time. I am also a car guy. Any hobby that's like prohibitively expensive, I'm probably into, except for skiing. I don't really like falling down a hill much, mostly because I'm fat. But yeah, any expensive hobby. I love cars. I really do love cars. I wish I had a car to work on. I do actually have a car to work on. I'm just not working on it because I don't have the money. Anyway, or space. So what I've been doing is amassing actual car parts. Actual car part. Actual car parts. Actual car part. In order to make pretty much a sim cockpit to pilot cars. But the theming is a little bit strange. If you look up like people's sim setups, they really like to get like a racing chair that's got a nice thin back to it, which is all well and good. Even if they have car chairs, they usually have all the bolsters of like a racing seat. They got like the helmet bolsters on them and everything. And they're getting like hardcore force feedback steering wheels. They got 7 monitors set up and like a super duper sequential shifter. I have been endeavoring to create a luxury car simulator. And so my current long-standing thing is that most of my friends are BMW nerds. And so I've had access to BMW parts. My brother bought a coworker's BMW. It was his first foray into BMWs. And I tried to tell him, I tried to warn him, nothing's more expensive than a cheap BMW. Because a cheap BMW is coming right up on its high mileage maintenance. And the high mileage maintenance requires you to replace the radiator, among other things. You have to replace a lot of stuff on these cars in order to keep them running like they used to. And they do. They're kind of amazing. This title sounds like a nightmare for a Twitch employee. Bring it on. Bring it on. I'm tired of being quiet. Yeah, it's a luxury car simulator. So, I mean, beggars can't be choosers, right? My brother bought a BMW for cheap. He spent more money than the car itself fixing it up. He went to the junkyard to get some parts, which I wouldn't typically recommend if you're doing the high mileage maintenances. But he went to a junkyard for parts and he goes, whoa, this BMW here has a better interior than mine. And so he swapped them. He bought all of the interior parts of another car and swapped it into his. And in doing so, he was left with an entry-level BMW seat, not a luxury seat, but it is from a luxury car. So that's where this comes in. And it might not look familiar to you right now, but you're looking at it upside down and sitting on a stool. So my luxury car simulator has a Mercedes steering wheel, a nice big thick leather steering wheel. The shifter is 3D printed because we looked around and the actual BMW shifter that I wanted to use from an automatic, I just was not used to. And I probably should have put a little bit more into the electronics of this thing. This may come in handy on a real car project one day, or its newer counterpart, because this is the automatic shifter from an M, and it actually has the sequential thing in it. It has a reverse lockout. It feels like a real car shifter. That was sort of my goal with this, but it turns out this was so awkward, I couldn't figure out how to get in and out of gears. Now, that's not to say that I could swap this into the simulator setup at any point, because I do have it all configured and everything. So maybe that can make its way back to the sim setup someday. But yeah, that shifter, we were able to replicate what the reverse lockout feels like by looking at that other shifter. So this thing is now fully functional, and it's a nice gated shifter that gives me up to 8 gears. I have provisions for a parking brake, and I could convert this over from vertical to horizontal. I could just flip this aluminum bracket so that it's a horizontal parking brake. We got to work this in there somewhere with a load cell. It's very dusty. It's a nice coat hook, if nothing else. Yeah. It sits on a shelf really nicely. So I've got all these parts, right? I've got all this stuff that's been sitting forever. And my brother, I guilted into getting me this seat. The seat is an electrically actuated. It's got a bunch of motors. It's entry level, so it does not have seat memory. Even though the wiring, I think, is there for the motors that have encoders in them. There's 2 big wires on the plug and 2 little wires. So it's possible, and I would love to be able to implement it. Oh my God, hold on. Sorry, that's my esophagus killing me. Some kind of seat memory, because what we need to do, and if you look at this, so this is the BMW chair. It's from an X-Drive F90 or something like that. I think that's what it is. X-Drive F90. We're looking at the bottom part of the seat, which is not typically where you find yourself. Maybe when you're looking for like a McDonald's French fry that's in the archive. There's a couple little cobwebs on this thing, but this thing has its own wiring harness. It may be heated, and it has an airbag in it. So before we really start getting into this, because we are getting into the brutal winter months, it's about 9 degrees Celsius outside. Sorry, negative 12 degrees Celsius, 9 degrees Fahrenheit. Feels like negative 17, I think is what it said, but it's cold out. And when it gets cold, the air holds more moisture, and so everything dries out. And when things dry out, we get an excess of static electricity. Detonators for bombs love them some static electricity. They love it. They love static electricity. Static electricity is dangerous in an auto shop and in my small shop that we're in right now. I do not want to blow out my eardrums today, so we're going to remove the airbag from this thing first. I do not want to risk any of these safety lines absorbing a big static shock and blowing up in my face. The cool thing about this, though, is that having an electric seat, all these adjustments electrically on the seat, having seat heating, probably, I don't know if I need to subscribe to it, having seat heating and that kind of stuff, and maybe a modicum of motor memory so that we know where things return to, means that I can have a channel point incentive when I'm playing a car game on stream for you guys to be able to move the seat around or turn on the seat heater or something akin to that. And I'll have to assign a button for turning off the seat heat as well. So that's cool. Oh, and then I also have storage on the back of the seat. I could put a manual back here if I really want to. So getting the airbag out is going to be pretty easy. I just remove these two bolts, and then we can take a look at what's in the back of the seat. And then we can start poking voltages in some of these things and seeing if we can move it around. But in terms of like a controller, what I'm going to need to do is figure out which of these pins are buttons and which ones are motors. I'm going to wager a guess that the larger of them are motors. I don't know why BMW, we're all the way into the F90 series, and they're still using this crap. This wraparound wire organizer that's like, it's like electrical tape, and electrical tape becomes gooey at any temperature above like 80 degrees, I think. And so it gets the wires to be all gooey and disgusting. I hate this stuff, man. Why do they use it? Use something a little better, man. Anti-chafing tape. All it does is move on the harness and leave behind like a snail trail that catches dust. Oh, it's awful stuff. I really dislike it. You know, use gaffer's tape. It won't leave behind a residue and it looks nicer and blah, 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 blah. Actually, it's probably, that stuff is probably fire safety too. Yeah, it'd be such a big project to get rid of all this tape that I hate. I can't believe on the stuff you work on, Gonad, that they do similar. Because whoever comes along in like 10 years to mess with it is going to be as mad as I am. All right, I gotta take a drink. My throat, it's dry out. My throat's drying out. You have to wrap it by hand. Jeez, that sounds excruciating. Okay, yeah. Anyway, what I was saying is we've got all these plugs here, and it looks like the larger of them is more than likely to be motors. So we can trace them a little bit. We can see if there are motors on the end of them. We just hit them with 12 volts too. Just considering which wire color's which. Now, I've looked around for wiring diagrams on this thing, and I can't find shit. And we don't have plugs here. I don't have plugs. Maybe I can relegate these over to DB connectors. I could just take apart the plug and then solder them to a DB connector instead. I don't know how many plugs that's going to be, but it'll be my own harness on the whole thing, going into the BMW harness. Oh boy. It's a lot of stuff. This one over here is the safety harness. This one is a yellow plug, and I'm pretty cautious around stuff that has a yellow plug because that typically means the airbag. And that's what we had in the steering wheel over here. We had the airbag stuff that I had to like remove the airbag or no, I never got the airbag, but there's a yellow plug in the back of this thing for the airbag connections. And it was, the clock spring was LIN bus and then two airbag detonators. Because they do redundant detonators to make sure that your car goes off when the airbag goes off. Anywho, the airbag removal procedure, I was able to find a YouTube video on. I can't find any schematics for the car. I don't know what's up with that. Oh, this is different. Uh-oh. Already there's something different. We've got these insidious plastic push pins instead of like a Torx drive. I think that's okay, though. That just means that it's just held on a little differently. We may have to go to Real OEM and find a parts diagram so that we know what we're removing, but it should come up pretty easy. I don't have my interior crocodile alligator. I don't have my car tools on me right now, which means I don't have my interior pin puller. It pulls these things cleaner. It's like a little crowbar which pulls up these plastic pins and sort of keeps them from dying when you pull them up. Usually you break all these. What are we working on? Which car? So this is my simulator setup, and my brother's, I don't think it's an X-Drive, but it is equivalent of an X-Drive, BMW F something or other 40, F90. All right, so without setting off an airbag, right now what we're trying to do is remove the airbag, because that is a pretty dangerous thing. If I were to be touching these connectors over here and I had a static shock, there's a potential that a bag at very angry velocity would shoot out of this side of the seat and punch me in the dick. So I don't want that to happen. So we're going to remove this big plastic backing, and that should allow us access to where the airbag is. That doesn't sound fun. Fun and funny are two things to kind of differentiate from one another, especially around here. Now, what are we looking at? Yep, for a racing sim seat. for a luxury racing sim seat. It feels like there's a fastener back here, and I actually saw a little bit of light poking through. So I wonder if either there's something like another fastener here, because I see how it's bending like that. Others you release by pushing up or not down, right? I don't think so. There's little clips on these things sometimes that pop, but I don't think that's what's going on here. All right, let's look up the parts diagram to make sure that we're doing the right thing here after removing those 2 pins. Funny for us, sad for you, yeah. I bet this seat has more bits than a printer. Oh, you should see. I'm not gonna fully take apart the seat. I know what I'm getting into though. So you see, if you buy a BMW, you get the advantage of the fact that most like super fans of BMWs they're a special bunch. You get people who can afford BMWs because they have high-tech jobs, and those high-tech jobs afford them the ability to get into the computer and have every single memory address mapped out from the car's engine computer. That's a thing. You get people who find or create their own free engine editing tools to get into the software, and you get websites like Real OEM that have a comprehensive parts catalog of the cars. So you can get into all the deep stuff you need to in order to fix or maintain. It's kind of crazy. So we're gonna go to the 3 Series. What is it? Where's the X drive? It's a 5 Series, sorry, 5 Series X drive. Oh, G60 sedan, G31 Touring, where is that? I found it before relatively easily. I mean, I guess F10, but was it F10 or was it F like 90? I forget. Oh, I forget which one it is. 5 Series, let's just do F10. And let's go for the 530i. No, 525 would be the US. 525XD, no. There we go, 535X from 2013. I don't know, this might not be the right thing, but let's just take a look. So we've got all of our different categories of parts here, and what we're looking for is seats, but depending on what categories there are, they move around. So if you click into this and you've got the seats in this location, sometimes it's a row up, sometimes it's a row down. It's very confusing. Is this free? Yes. And the software to work on the cars is not sanctioned by BMW, and a lot of it is leaked, and a lot of it is purely in German, which is really fun when you get an error message. But the stuff that can like really work on the older cars and some of the newer ones is free. There's just a website where you can download it. It's kind of amazing. But yeah, to answer your question, yes, the seat is vastly more complicated than a printer. This is not the right seat. This is not what we have. We have a big plastic bar that this fits into. All right, so that's not the right seat. We need to find something that has the right seat, and it's newer than I think. Let me just go look at what I said before, because I said what it was on the other page here, and I'll just retrace my steps from last night. 5 Series F90, which is technically an M, but I don't think his car is an M. Yeah, Etka is what I used. Oh, they closed it down? I got like a pirated version of it, and I got like the cheap cable, and so I was able to actually like dyno my car and stuff. 5 Series F90. The tooth that they replaced in the back of my jaw, it always weirds me out. It really does weird me out. I was just picking at it to get something out of there, and it like moved a little bit, and I'm like, is that all right? Yeah, I had that as well. So let's go to like 2019, right? It's just about to be a pandemic. We're just starting to hear about this weird virus. I'm buying a new car, and I'm looking at the seat. And I'm looking at the seat, and I'm saying, this looks kind of familiar. So this is what I was looking for primarily when I was looking through this. I could have just called my brother, right? But it's a matter of pride. I could have called up my brother and said, hey, man, how's it going? Hey, how's it going, man? Listen, what kind of car did you have again? Okay, thanks, bye. I could have done that, but I decided to barf up my pride. Instead of swallowing my pride, I barfed it up. And I spent a little while researching and looking for what this thing was. This is probably not the exact same seat, but it does look a lot like what I have. And this right here, this bar going across with the forward backwards motor is what I had to like eBay up and get for like relatively cheap. It wasn't that expensive, but so in here in the parts catalog, we can see the diagram of all the different components that make up these seats. So ours is the single backed piece, and it looks like, from what I can see, it is held on. I don't know what's going on. These are like for the door that comes back, and then there's something up top, but I don't think we have access to that. So I think that just pops out. We can go to our second resource though, and that would be YouTube, and just do YouTube and oh god, why is this so slow? F90 seat airbag. Thank you, YouTube algorithm. 2016 Mustang airbag. Perfect. That's exactly what I needed to find. 2020 Honda Pilot. F90 BMW. Seat occupancy sensor. Oh, we might have one of those. Although this is the driver's side seat, so I don't know if we have that. That's a different seat. That's a different seat. Passenger seat occupancy airbag matte bypass. No. Faulty airbag seat occupancy sensor. No. Make an airbag bypass. No. I don't want to do that. That's so illegal. All right, so we might not be able to find exactly what I'm looking for here. I wonder if those BMW tools have up to this year of car, because that would be in Hajiwo. Hajiwo is an excellent YouTuber that makes relatively cheap synthesizer modules for modular synths. Seatbelt emulator install. Why would you do this? Why is YouTube against safety? Still has it to beep you about the seatbelt. Oh, yeah, okay. Well, no, that's only the passenger airbag, right? Because it should beep you with no seatbelt if you're turning the car on, regardless of whether or not you're sitting in the chair as the driver. As the driver, it would be assumed that you are sitting in the driver's seat in order to operate the car at all. Airbag light, airbag light, airbag light. Man, everybody wants to do this. How to remove active headrest. Whoa. Race seat install. No. F3X airbag removal. Okay, wait. We might be onto it. You've already... Okay, you've got the crossbar. It looks like a slightly different seat from what I have. But you do have this funky crossbar kind of thing. Oh, it's already out. Oh, okay, cool. Thanks, man. Really very helpful. I can't hear this. Okay, we're going to close caption it. Put your hands on there. You'll have to get enough leverage and push forwards. The plastic rivets holding it in will come up. What? Wait, this doesn't... Wait. It looks like it's slightly different, but he's saying push forwards. What direction is forwards when we're in a chair that's sitting vertically? Okay. So it's a matter of manhandling the bejangles of this bonanza. Push forward, like down. Ah, there we go. Okay, so it did just pop out. What were we dealing with here? 2 hooks on the top side, and then 2 little nubbins here. Oh, so that's why there was a... No, the hole's just for the spring to go through. It looks like... Yeah, you might be able to poke something in there to release it, but... Oh, we're number 41. Stanskit, LA, Umburg Mu, Kleiben Retainer, 9. Schweibens, 8007. Got it. Okay, we know everything we need to know. All right, so let's get this thing out of here. All right, so there's the bomb. No, wait, where's the bomb? I don't see it. I ain't see it. This is different from what I know. I am to assume that there is an airbag back here, but without unupholstering the seat, possible that it is over here. That looks like a motor. I think that's the lumbar support. There's a motor over here too. See, I just want to safety this thing so that I'm good to poke at it with a bunch of different voltages. What are you? Oh, it does have a headrest motor. I should tell my brother that. He was wondering about the headrest adjustment. Apparently there is a motor back here. Huh. Okay, I can't see chat for the life of me here. Everything's all the way up at the computer, and I'm kneeling all the way down here. Let's get this window front and center and make it smaller so that I can see what you guys are saying from far away. That's deep in the ticket. What does that mean? Do you do any plane stuff, or is it just car sim stuff? No, see, I've got like the makings of a space simulator over here too. So the sim pit's gonna, do multi-purpose. It has to. It has to if it's gonna pay for the amount of real estate that it's gonna take up. Sim pits are big. I don't have a lot of space. So I've got a left-hand warthog. I've got a right-hand warthog. Or sorry, a right-hand warthog. I've got a left-hand warthog, which is fairly special and needs a little bit of modification. I have a X65F throttle, which is sitting over here. And I've got foot pedals that are not around right now. They're in a bin. The foot pedals we'll have to do a little reverse engineering on though. So we'll be able to get to all this cool stuff. This is new. This I did not know about. Oh, I see. Okay, it slides away. Okay, cool. Oh, perfect. The headrest has its own control. Oh no, Twitch chat is going to be completely insufferable if I give them control of it. The bomb! This is the bomb right here. So this is the airbag with detonators for the seat. And we've got the plug right here that I really shouldn't interact with because I just heard a little snap of static electricity behind me. This goes to motor? No, it goes further up. Don't tell me there's a second airbag, Mr. President. Because this wiring harness... Why is this in like a big poofy thing right there? So we've got wiring coming up this way. Oh no, this is the safety harness right here. Okay, it's a separate harness. What you guys saying? Nothing. You're not saying. Oh wait, no, I gotta scroll down. Lick something earth to be safe. I'll hold on to the desk here. I don't believe in static straps. I don't believe in static straps, he says before violently detonating an airbag in his face. This one is a multicolor. It's yellow and... So this... I wonder if this has to do with it. This one up here, because it's the same wire colors. Actually, no, it's not. These are both yellow. I wonder if that's actually the airbag. Because it would be on its own separate safety system. Although there's also this one here too, which is just this little 2-pin jobby. All right, well, we're going to have to do some multimetering on this thing in the near future. But first things first, my people come first, is getting this bomb out of here and putting it somewhere else in the shop. So let me get some wrenches, which is a great opportunity for me to get up and rub all this fabric together in this super duper dry environment because of the cold. It is negative 12 degrees Celsius outside, and so the inside is appropriately dry. And you can even tell that it's dry in here because I keep having to sip my seltzer in order to keep my whistle wetted so that I can talk to you guys constantly over the next 4.5 hours. Why am I buzzing? Who's buzzing me? Mission detected at the front door. All right, so this is my busted set of ratchet. My busted ratchet set that I keep in the shop. It's not my car tools. If I had my car tools, I have like everything I would need ever. Is it 9mm? No, it's not a bullet. Something like 8. 8 is usually a good bet. There's 8. Okay. Let's see. So this thing is a airbag. It's not a traditional bomb, so I don't think we need to worry about any kind of like tamper circuits. But I'm just going to remove the one bolt that holds it in, believe it or not. One bolt. One bolt, and then it's just kind of wedged in, and then we can get the connector out without hopefully setting it off. I'm just going to touch my desk, which is, I think, earthed. I don't think I actually ran anything to earth it, though. Welcome to Earth. Okay, okay. Can you give me the stupid thing? Give me this. Drop it. Drop it. Oh, come on. Oh, there's like a little plastic thingy that's keeping it in. What the? I'm just gonna break it. Give me this. It's got a little hook. Okay, so the bolt goes in here. Look at this. The bolt goes in right there, right? And so I undid the bolt, and then it turns out there's a little piece of plastic, a little plastic arm here that keeps the bolt in. Why would they do that? I know. Would have unplugged it first. I don't know how that plug works, and I want to take a closer look, so I'm just going to unplug it second. Plus, the other end of the plug is not plugged into anything. So it's plugged into a giant antenna, which is a nice opportunity for me to give it the static shock of its life, but snip and twist the cables together. Yeah, that's the other strategy, but I'm going to try to actually get the detonator out of this thing. Oops, that's face focus. Hold on. I'm so fuzzy. All right, now I'm just regular fuzzy. Boop. All right, so now we've got the airbag here, and this should probably, without pulling on the harness, just pulling this jobby out. Does it have a side bolt? Oh, hidden hardware. I see. Now they're using two bolts. The ones that I looked up online had one bolt. There was just one bolt, and it just wedged at the top. This has two. This one's probably the fake one that will detonate the airbag as a means of tamper protection. Yeah, it seems to be rattling around a lot more now. So it's really two bolts. I lied. Still going. I should use that electric ratchet that I got to do this. Nah. Not worth it. Oh yeah, fat lot of good that little finger did. There's one on this one, but the bolt just fell out. Jeez. All right, no, my legs. What? What is still retaining you? Is there more stuff that I need to remove? Now there's the whole thing. Seems like it might be clipped in place or something. Wonderful opportunity to rub up against all this fabric. Oh, it goes up. Wait a minute. What is up here? What's up with you, dog? There is a big snap-in piece back here. What is that all about? They made this a lot harder to remove. Give it that much. I'm using you guys to look inside of here. Oopsie daisy. Hold on. Take a look here. What the hell is that? Oh, so the whole thing has to twist. No, it doesn't. It goes down and out. Like down this way or up. Or the whole thing is just snapped in. What the hell is that? It's like a retaining tab. But I don't see how it fits it. It looks like it tilts out, but I don't know if I can get it to tilt out. What can I get? What the hell? So there were 2 bolts. I removed those, but then this whole unit does not move on those bolts. It appears as though it has some kind of a tab sticking through this right here. But this feels a little bit more, it feels less like plastic to me. Is that moving when this moves? No, it's not. Okay, so I think that tab is just holding the thing that it bolts to. That may just be like a retaining thing. But the rest of this is kind of a mystery to me. Urgh. All right, I keep the cameras focused on the thing I'm actually trying to do. So, no bueno on the 2 bolts. Tilting it around isn't doing anything. I don't know how much of my manhandling this thing is going to put up with. Pull it up, push it down. Pull it back and over and back. Look for any bolts up here. No. Any bolts on the side? This is all flat face. This thing is shaped like a claymore. What are this doing? That looks like something internal to it that I shouldn't be messing with. Probably where it busts open. Just set it off. Oh, there's something. It's a riveted plate. Okay, so that's not something I can mess with. No more bolts over here. Oh, this bag is actually tied into the seat. So I need to cut this unless there's some special way to get it out, because this ties into the fabric in the front of the seat. And I don't feel any bolts or anything up there. So, what are my options here? Let's look up the part number, maybe. 2013 is when this thing was installed, so now we know the model year. All right, let's look at the parts diagram and see how this thing is attached. Ugh, get back up on my feet. There's some trick to it. Some trick to it that I don't know. It's about the most foreboding thing shaped like a claymore. Well, aside from like a claymore. All right, let's take a look here. Parts catalog is my only friend. Hey guys, I'm trying to disable an airbag. Any help? Maybe it's in safety systems. Because I'm not seeing it here in any sort of detail. So let's go back and let's look at the safety systems. It'll be a picture of an airbag in front of a chair. This is it. That's restraint system though, never mind. Well, here are the seatbelt pullers if you fancy those. All right, so what else do we have? Is there an airbags category? Fuel supply, radiator, exhaust, engine and suspension, gear shift, drive shaft, transfer box, front axle, steering, blah, 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 bodywork, vehicle trim, seats. You would think it would be there. Vehicle electrical system, perhaps. That is quite a computer. There's a lot of electrical stuff. There's the seats electricals, which show some of the airbag stuff, but they don't show the airbag itself. Bunch of connectors. Okay. Sliding roof. Instruments, measuring systems. Nah, not really. Auto nav. Distance, equipment parts, restraints. Yeah, I don't see anything that airbags might fall under. Maybe interior vehicle trim, probably not, right? They got nothing to do with the seats here or their airbags. Ah, warning vest. Yes. I need a BMW part number for my warning vest. It would have to be under seats. But we don't see no airbags here. Unless that's 17. I don't think so. Drive backrest with adjustment left. Nope. The sooner we get this airbag out of here, the safer I'll feel, you know, messing with this. There's an airbag section. Why is Short Lurker always right? Why is he always right? Could he stop being right for like 5 minutes? You know, just always being correct. Missing it. Hold on. Drive shaft, is that what you mean? I'm going to have to control F this because I'm blind. Streamer doesn't see. He doesn't know. Repair. Oh, the highlighting is not easy to see. Heater and air. Parts, service, and repair. I don't think there's an airbag. Oh, hold on. It's under restraint and I missed it. Ah. Restraint systems. Safety belt, front, rear, airbag. I see. Okay, yeah. That is okay, number 4. It's not an actual depiction. It is vaguely the shape of the airbag. Son of a bitch. Let's look at the mechanical on the side of the seat and see if we can get any clues. Those are the opposite of clues. Those are, God damn it. See, it's in this little bag, this like fabric pocket. Hold on, I need to, 1 sec. What PPE would be appropriate for this? Gloves, mask, and a respirator? I mean, a face mask would probably be okay. Wearing ear pro, maybe. You know, ear pro is probably always recommended for anything you ever do. Gloves, yeah, maybe, but I think like maybe just a static strap would be good. Does the black button at the top of that side undo? Oh, yeah. This might allow us a little bit more access. Is it a button or is it it's like a trim thing? Okay, hold on. I don't want to rip my seat apart, so let's do this. The fabric seemed to be capitulating before the button did. I need to get my, I didn't know we'd be dealing with so many, like, trim piece kind of things. Let's use the turn. If I turn it 90 degrees, does it come out? That's going to break my screwdriver. How are you in there? Oh, there it is. Wait a minute. Got a little bit more leeway. I hate these plastic things that hold all these cars together. Evil, evil, evil. See, I'm trying to see if it's one of those things you turn 90 degrees and then it comes out, or if I pry it out, or if I need some other special thing. Yeah, I have like, it looks like a crowbar, and it's in my vehicle tools. It's not here. It's specifically for pulling crap like this. Where is that button? Tell me how to undo it. How do I release you? This is where YouTube really comes in handy, like actually spending the time. Because I'm a streamer boy, I'm doing this sort of in a weird way, but the real way to do this is you look it up on YouTube and you watch somebody else undo it. I found a video for how to do my station wagon springs that hold the tailgate up, and they said you got to get this bar and you have to fish into the hole, really, like the hole that is the back of the car. There's these 2 huge springs that run the length of the roof of the car, and you can't get to them because they're inside of the metal of the vehicle. And so what they did is they took a bunch of angle grinders to the top of the car to display to you what you're looking for. And they're like, you have to find this hook with this tool without cutting the top of the car open. I'm like, holy shit, I love YouTube. That just cinched it. I was like, man, okay, 15 of these little guys, and it looks like they are just pressure. They just have these like plastic things that fan out. So I'm gonna try to find something akin to a crowbar so I can pry evenly on the plastic without breaking it. One of the biggest pieces of advice that a friend of mine gave me, and it still applies to this day when working on cars like this, is the first thing you do when you're going to go do like vehicle trim is you buy all of the plastic rivets and stuff so that you have them, because you're going to break 2/3 of them by just by pulling it apart, because these are really meant to go together one way and that's it. They go together, they don't come apart. This'll do it. So yeah, the struts in the roof. I hate that. They're not struts in the roof. It's two giant springs in the roof. And so over time, the springs in the roof will eventually lose their springiness. And so when I'm on a flat surface and I'm loading in groceries, I have to permanently headbutt. This isn't going to work as well as I thought it would. I have to permanently headbutt the vehicle's tailgate as it's constantly trying to slam down on me. Ooh, this might be good. This might do. This might just do the trick. And then just flat thing that I can just get under it with, because it was ripping the fabric. Hello? What the? What? Blah, blah, blah. Okay, so absolutely not. Go fuck yourself. This thing will never come out. Why are you like this? Permanent vehicle rivet. Why are you designed like this? Don't do me like this. Okay, bending my screwdriver. It feels like that was the right move, but at this point, just cut it. I don't have another one to go in there, and it looks like it's kind of vital for keeping this thing together. This is why we hate cars, yeah. So, you know, following my own advice would probably be prudent in that I probably should have ordered a bunch of these things. It looks like it did make some headway on it, so looks like I can grab it with a pair of pliers now. Use these. This thing is at least hardened, unlike that weird wrench that I had. I don't want to cut it, I just want to grab it. Jeez. Oh, and now you're going to rip the fabric coming off, aren't you? Aren't you, you little bastard? Aren't you? Aren't you? Yeah, you're just going to rip up my fabric. What in the fuck is this thing? It's just the most evil that could possibly be put into a car like this. They just fanned that sucker out and expected it to stay in there forever and ever. We're still going to put this back. It's not going to hold as well anymore, but did we need this much fastening going on? Did this really need to hold on that hard to that piece? No, not a nut on the other side. It's just an insidiously evil plastic fastener. Spent all the R&D safety budget on that one clip. Yeah, those are those one-use rivets that they're not meant to come out. All right, let me move my light. Well, luckily, I expected this to take about 5 minutes, and it's taking a little longer than I thought, which is a good thing for content. Tighten up all my camera stuff. The camera arm's at its very limit. And then there was another one. Actually, this one's just a clip. This one is just a spike. There we go. Oh, nasty. There's all kinds of nastiness in here. The nastiness of the nastiness. Okay, so there's another fastener behind here for me to get to the side panel. I don't know if I need to get to the side panel. I just need to know what the removal trick is here. No, not that. It seems like the metal stuff here is attached differently. there's going to be a deafening pop noise, and then your streamer is going to be dead. Just one big deafening thump. You guys won't hear it because there's a compressor on the microphone, but I'll be dead. You'll be dead, Jedi. Just keep rubbing it in order to create as much static electricity as possible. All right, I gotta find a YouTube video on this because it can't be as hard as I'm making it out to be. I gotta find a YouTube video. I'm not gonna do it without that. Gotta pad the runtime. This is how car jobs always go. You know, you multiply the amount of time that you think it should take. It's like peeling a yak. So, F5 Series M5 from 2013. And I'll move my drink. Series 2013 BMW seat airbag removal. BMW F10 airbag 2012 F28i passenger seat. Passenger seat's typically a mirror of the driver's seat. Hey, it's me. Welcome to my car channel, USA Live. Today we're going to be removing an M5. You see here it's M5. It's a pretty good car. It's pretty fast. You have four seats, and you come in here in the back of the seat here. You can see there was an airbag, and so here I've removed all the stuff already that you probably are looking to see me remove in this video by just like pulling it. You just pull it and it comes out, and then over here, there's like an airbag. There's an airbag. It's like, yeah, the seat back is attached there. Okay, come on. Just show me that. Okay, yeah, you unplugged it. Congratulations. How did you get the thing out of the thing? That's what you get for having a fancy seat. I didn't know it would be a 5 Series seat. I could improv all day, but... All right, we're going to have to close caption. 2 screws. One here, one here. That's on the back of the seat pillar. That's not a screw hole. That's not on mine anyway. On this one, it's got a wiring harness cleat, but then that's all that's on the back. The airbag is very decidedly attached from the side. His seat is slightly different than mine. This is a different seat. This is fraudulent. This is a hoax. None of this is real. This was never a BMW. All right, that's a different seat. BMW F10 2012. Krispy Kreme 2012. BMW FX3, F3X. Similar bar at the bottom. Not sure about the rest of this. There's lots of different trim levels, and there's lots of different seats that change throughout time. Oh, this is the guy from before. Where the airbag at? Okay, yeah, we got that part. What was that? Show that to me again. I'm commenting as if this is live, but I could just rewind it. You put the wrench in the side. What the fuck? Aha! Wait, this is a little bit different than what I was looking for. So there might be some kind of like a retaining clip, in which case I'm going to have to get like a pry bar in order to really like pop it off of that clip. It's kind of what it feels like it's on right now, even though this is a different designed airbag. Can we look up the airbag part itself, and maybe that'll give us a little bit of information about what the fuck? Blown airbag simple. It's really not that simple. Occupancy sensor. Yeah, these top two look like, or these middle two look like they were. What the? Active headrest airbag? Whoa, wee wah wah. Do we have an airbag in the headrest? I hope we don't, but we might. That means we got 2 bombs in this seat that we need to get out. Fucking A, mate. All right. We're gonna circle back onto that one. First, I'm looking for 5 Series 2013 5 Series BMW seat airbag. Just looking for pictures of it. This is just not helpful. This is also not helpful. Somebody show me the actual part so that I know what I'm doing. These are useless. Walmart. Google used to be so much more useful. Seatbelt connector for the airbag. Nope. I mean, the headrest is pretty meaty. There's a chance that there is an airbag in it. And I did see a bunch of wires going up into the headrest. So, oh boy. That was your nut. There are more nuts to take off. Trace cables and see? Yeah, I'll have to look for the... It looks like they're mixing the safety cables with the other ones. So, I don't know, you know. Set them off and then you'll know. Oh, we can get a part number for the airbag. Wait a minute. We can get a part number for the airbag. Under vehicle restraints. What the? What's going on? What did I... Huh? What? What did I miss? What's going on? Wait, why did that... Oh, because you said idea. I was like, oh, I missed something. Use grounding wrist strap when I work on electronics. It's not an absurd idea. No, it's not. I mean, you should, yeah, you should absolutely have a ground strap. I'm just saying no because it's funny. Side airbag, front right seat, part number right here. Copy, put it into just... I mean, we could just do Google, or I could go eBay and take a look at what they look like in pictures of the actual car part. Bada bingus. How in the fuck does this thing attach to the car? Wait a minute. Are we on a differently designed car? Yeah, this is a different design than what we have. This ain't it. But look at this. There's a giant retaining clip on the bottom that I think our airbag actually has too. So it might be just a matter of picking this thing up in a direction and then it'll come off now. Doesn't the label have the actual part number? We can, I mean, I guess I can see. For the label. Is that SATch number? 734-49807-03. Let's try 734. I forget the rest already. Or no, what does a BMW part number look like? There's a bunch of these that look like the part number. 734-9807-83. 9807-83. Still searching it on eBay. I got a bunch of Hot Wheels cars, so I don't think that's a legitimate BMW part number. There's a form that BMW part numbers take, and I just haven't memorized that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. The 10-digit part number. Oops. I don't know if that's a part number for the airbag or if it's for this stuff, because this stuff is all connected. Yeah, it's not moving in either direction. Can I like unclip it from a thing? Doesn't look like it. Pushing it up is a no. Pushing it down is a no. Twisting it out, well, it's in a little bag, so I can't really twist it out. Okay, yeah. It's not a matter of pushing it up or down. Oh, okay. 10-digit part number. One, two, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. GEW. BK2 FSSTD Lin LHWH. There's a time for it and everything. I don't know if this is the part number though. Part number might be on the actual part itself, which I can't look at because there's a little bag around it. A little destructive bag that pops open when this thing pops open. 6280-826-100. Or is it 1993-84-10? 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Could it be the 6200 part number? I'm not sure. Oh, man, okay. Well, we know 2013, so let's look at another 2013 car. And see what because we're so close. Like, real OEM seems like it's the right thing, but this is the smooth one. We're looking for one that's got like 2 bolts in the side or something. But it all seems so familiar. It seems so close to the actual thing. So I don't know if we jump out of the M cars and just do a 5 Series, what? I don't think the G68. What is close? It's the X-Drive was the other one. But I don't know which one that is on this list. Certainly not the 6 or 7 Series. I don't think they're going to list it as the X-Drive, are they? It's just where I got the motor from. So I don't think that's exactly what it is. Try G38 sedan. It's probably not G38 sedan because it looks like that's a China car. That one's in China. Okay, maybe not. Europe, Russia. That one's USA. 2013. Oh, green light. I worked on planes, not cars. I'm out of ideas. Yeah, the airbag says 2013, so we're a 2013 car. Why did the green light turn on? Oh, no, out of ideas. There we go. That's why. Why do I have to diagnose that every single time? Okay, so we need something that's like 2013. That's not going to be the right anything. That's not even a USA car. 5 Series F10 sedan, 528i, USA. 2013 mid-run, browse parts. And then we go to the seat and everything's looking pretty familiar. Yep, there's a bar across the seat with its little doodads in it. That's looking pretty good. So we go to airbag, restraint system, slightly differently shaped airbag, although it still doesn't really look like the one we have. But we'll just take a look. 10 and 11. Blind rivet nut flat-headed. Huh? Wait a minute. Philister head screw. What the fuck? What do you mean? Number 6. 6, side airbag, front right. 7212. Yeah, see, I don't think that part number was on that label. Now we're looking a little bit more familiar. What in the deuce is that bracket, though? There's like a whole damn bracket that comes with it. I don't think that's the right thing. Even though that looks very close to what we have. How do you remove this sucker? Looks like you just undo it and it comes out. But that doesn't, I don't think that's quite what we got. Huh, what other car would it? Oh my God, this is getting so freaking annoying. There's all these different vehicle trim sections. The previous G30 airbag is the right one. It's got knee airbags. Oh my God. Oh yeah, over here. You're enveloped in a safety foam. All right, so you're talking G30. Not LCI, just G30. From the before times. That starts at 2016, though. Yeah, the hook tab we do have, but it doesn't move. I tried really wrenching it up and down, and it doesn't seem to be moving with that hook tab. But just to do the due diligence, let's see here. Actually, that is looking a little familiar, to be honest. That shape does look kind of familiar. Let's just try it and see what we get. It's going to think I'm a big fan of airbags. This guy does nothing but collect airbags. Incredible. I've never seen anything like it. Nah-ha! Wait, but that's a rivet on the one that I have. Do I have to drill out a rivet? Is that what's going to be necessary? There's not a whole lot of view. Oh, wait, there's a lot of views of this thing. Wait. Yeah, here we go. Ein Hook und ein Rivet. Oh, and there's a little press thingy behind it. Aha! But this is what I'm concerned with. This is somewhat concerning. Parts guide does say rivet. Oh, boy. So that means this little goober right here. Yep, it is that's the right model. So that's what's holding us back. Those two bolts that I undid were not the right thing. That's probably why they have those little retaining. Oops, I messed up the face cam again. Okay, I hit it the right number of times. Okay, enter the drill. Where's my... Yeah, there we go. That's the right camera. I gotta drill out a rivet. So let's drill out a rivet. I can't get to my drill bits. They're all the way back there. That's all right. That's all right. Get the drill onto the drill battery. And we'll find a big drill bit by sneaking around this big ass chair that's in the way. I wonder if that bar there with the rivet actually moves to unhook. It looks like, I mean, there's something to put pressure on it. I don't know if this is going to hook into something, but this right here is attached to a permanent rivet, which I guess they're just not fucking around with airbags anymore, right? They said, you know what? People have been messing around with our airbags for years. We're going to not bolt them in anymore. We're just going to put a big damn rivet on the thing. Yeah, that's what I'm wondering. If this plastic piece right here falls into something, then I will have to press on that. It's possible that this exists just so that there's pressure on this, so it doesn't rattle. Although, you know, the rivet should be doing a lot of that work. Anyway, I gotta find a big ass... Gotta apply a drill to this thing so that it doesn't blow up. Cut the red wire. No. Go get a drill. You've got to open this thing up. All right, without crushing any of my beautiful sim setup, I need to get to the drill bits that are all the way over here, and I can't fit because I'm a giant fat ass. Okay, is that the right size? It's probably way too big. Although, to be fair, all I need to do is get part of the rivet undone, and it'll fall out. It's a perfectly sized little pokey bit to set off static electricity. I mean, it's a little big, but it'll do. A little big, but it'll do. Can't believe I got to friggin' drill out a rivet to get this thing. In the name of safety, no compromises. Nice little, you know, rubbing of two materials together to create static electricity, right? Just as a hot ember finds its way right onto the airbag contacts. Okay, it's like got the fake appearance that it is actually drilling something. I'm going to let it cool down a little bit. Airbag says 2013, but the G30 is 2017 to 2023. Yeah, I wonder if there's been like an extended amount of time that the airbag sat around, or if it's like, you know, older equipment that they put into the newer car. I don't think, well, I don't know what year it is. I really don't know what year it is. That's a dull bit. Not really. I mean, it might have just dulled itself. Also, that thing got pretty hot. I think that's, well, I don't know what kind of rivet it is. But I'm going to let it cool down a little bit. Let's just get a little bit of coolness in there. I really don't want to be fucking around with an airbag, you know? Yeah, what year does this thing say it's from? This eBay listing that I opened up. Well, it says G30, 530, 540, M550, front left drivers. And then in the pictures, well, it says it fits 2020 to 2023 cars. It's weird that the date code would say 2013 on it, huh? Maybe airbags are just one of those things that they have a big stock of. All right, back to, oh, I see, yeah. There's aluminum stuck on the end of the bit. You know what the trick is for this? Is to actually use just a little bit of WD-40 to keep the aluminum from sticking to your drill bits. It's one of the few uses for WD-40 that I have that are legit. And I don't have the can of WD-40. Hold on, I gotta find my WD-40. It usually lives right here. Where'd it go? Huh, okay, so let me go see where my WD-40 is. The chemical bin, which is across the shop. Sorry, I know it's the most exciting visuals ever. I don't see any. All right, I don't have WD-40, never mind. We're just gonna start again. Start drilling again. Why would this be an aluminum rivet? Maybe it's not aluminum. I know, it's sitting around for 7 years, but this thing says date 2008-2013. I mean, that's pretty specific. So, I mean, maybe it's not a 2020, you know? Production year started in 2016, so even the airbag made in 2013, so it's 3 years. 3 years is a little bit much for something like this to be sitting around, though. Yeah, that's true. Airbags are kind of a known thing, and we've got old cars with airbags. My car's airbags are 25 years old, and they haven't gone off. Actually, they might be newer because of that recall. Does it focus? Moderately. Jeez. Fucking thing sucks. Okay, so just that easy step. I'll let it cool down again. Just let it cool down. Yeah, no, there's nothing on the other side. I might have been a little bit more careful if that were the case. I just wanted to get that damn rivet out, and now it's gone. Okay, so this should be, and there's no trick to the connector, right? You just pull it out. You guys wouldn't be able to answer that. Oh, there's the rest of the rivet. I can't get to it. There might be an airbag in the headrest. We're gonna have to explore that possibility. Okay, this looks like there's no trick to it. It's just pull and release. In which case, twist the screwdriver. Perhaps it will unplug. No big surprises. Okay, well, lift or push down, and then pull out. And that releases our goober into my custody. Ugh, come on, stupid thing. There's a big hook getting in the way. All right, there we go. Everyone should do this. It's fun. What's your trick? Plug. Ah, there's a little hat that undoes at the top. Once that comes out like that, it pulls out. Okay, there we go. Whew. So yeah, this had a little top thing that snaps up and locks it in place. So prying on it wouldn't have helped. All right, these two little contacts are very concerning to me. Let's move all this stuff out of the way on the bench. Get this thing up. No more airbag. An assembly is the reverse of disassembly. So just get that hook in there. I'm going to reassemble this thing real quick. Celebrate? Not yet. We're not out of the woods yet. It turns out all the weird stuff that I was doing was all entirely necessary for this procedure, which is good because we did some pretty inane stuff. This goes up, and this thing presses back in, never to be messed with again. You got these two panels here. These just kind of slide together. I'll get those later. Okay. Life without an airbag. You should make a YouTube video about it. No, I'm good. No, I'm good. All right, so this whole module is designed to blow up, and it's got a lot of little push tabs on it that hold it together because it's stamped together at the factory. Looks like we did find the right part number for the airbag, but I want to get this assembly out of here so that I can put it in the ammo can with its buddies, the older versions of airbags. So I guess we are going to break these tabs because there's no way that this stuff goes together without breaking the tabs. And this is all going to go in the garbage without the explosive part. So I'm just going to use flush cutters to open this thing up by destroying these tabs. Now I did this on the older versions for the car, for the driver's seat airbag by very carefully pushing the rivets back through where they go. Now we hit it with 12 volts. No, because that'll inflate a bag in my room, in my enclosed space with barely any ventilation. I have a little bit of ventilation, but not enough that it would expel all of the nasty stuff that the airbag puts out into the air. Because I guess it is a grim calculus that is done with airbags where, you know, this particular device spits out some really nasty chemicals, but it's better than dying. Oh, get over yourself, airbag. Jeez. Got to remove all of these in order to really peel this thing open. What? What was that? Hiya, Demi. Thank you so much. Should we go outside, touch grass, and add 12 volts? Yeah, no, I'm good. I'm not going to do that. Thank you for the sub, though. Hey, Demi. Appreciate that. I'm no stranger to disarming airbags. I've done it before. Do it again. But I do hate doing it because it's a little nerve-wracking. Got metal chips all over me. So this is the bag section that I'm sort of separating from the gas section. Those contacts are really close together on this thing, so I would have trouble. I'd probably have to cut the connector out of the harness in order to use that. To think there are some people out there who are experts in detonating explosives for safety systems. Okay, we got to go deeper. We got to go deeper. I got to get more of these tabs off in order to get into this thing. These chips are really bugging me. Hold on. I'm going to sweep up these chips. Put that over there. Be safe. Be well. my friend. Chips are really bugging me. Hold on. Just what I need is something with bristles on it to make a pseudo Van de Graaff generator. Van der Graaf generator with my desktop. Let's rig it so that 100 subs sets it off outside. No. My dog's going to be sniffing it and it'll blow up. Send it over to Uo's lab so we can cover his whole stream with powder. The powder that these things release. A Van de Graaff generator has bristles and a belt that'll run a fabric material over the bristles and create an incredible amount of static electricity that your science teacher can then use to shock the whole class at once by having them hold hands. Touch ground, touch grass, touch ground, touching ground. Okay. Touch ground, that's going to be grounded. That'll be legitimately grounded, actually. That's probably my best bet. Tape one of those to my arm. Honestly, I would love to have something explosive that you guys could trigger with channel points, but I know explosives, and I don't really want to mess around with them that bad, you know? There's a time and a place, you know? And it's not here, and it's not ripping my hands apart while I'm holding this thing. Play the Jacob's Ladders. I wanted to make one of those, but the only problem is open sparks create a lot of radio interference, and my pancreas is currently a radio device. It is a Bluetooth low energy device that is doing the job of one of my internal organs. And so in that vein, I really don't want to like accidentally disable, because we had a Tesla coil, like a miniature Tesla coil in here. And in the course of using it, it turned off my desk lights somehow with the emissions of RF radiation. So high voltage stuff, as much as I love it and as much as I know about it, I do know quite a bit about high voltage and how to work with it. You know, I did motors and control systems at Drexel University, and they teach you all kinds of safety around high voltage and how to work with it and all that stuff. I'm just not going to do it on this channel. We can do cooler stuff with Arduinos without having to give in to that sort of internet, woo, explosions, whoa. We don't have to do that. We don't have to be that channel, you know? We don't have to be that channel. We don't need big explosions and fires and stuff. If you want that, go watch Uo's Labs. It's got a lot of people watching them. I understand the draw, but coming down into my shop and smelling like burnt everything, burnt plastic, burnt rubber, burnt table, no thanks. I wouldn't just chat with a British party cracker. Those are British. We always do those every year. I guess that's because my grandfather's a Brit. I have a British grandfather on my mother's side. There we go. This is where the rubber meets the road. There's more. So this is meant to just blow open, right? That's garbage. You need to laser something onto the wall on this channel. Yeah, I remember there was a channel that did that. Whatever happened to that goober? I do this because sweeping it with my hand is way worse, because then you get wood chips in your, metal chips in your hand, and I hate that. So I'm sitting here with the brushy, doing my best impression of a Van de Graaff generator. Verdi generator. Verdi Graaff generator. Van der Wall. Van der Graaff. Van der Graaff. Yeah, the board, we will see a working board one day. Yeah, I hate this shit. So this is just a gas bomb that inflates a bag, and we just want to get it out of here so that I can put this gas bomb in an ammo can so that it is safe from worldly... Oh my God, look at this fucking thing. Jeez. Hoo-wee. You've seen videos of airbags going off and lifting people 6 feet into the air and dropping them unceremoniously with the gentle coercions that gravity provides us on this planet. Then you know that this thing is a motherfucker. This thing is not to be trifled with in any way, shape, or form. This is ruiner of days. People have PTSD over the smell that these things emit from their gases. I have a friend who feels a particular way from these things going off. And maybe one day we will come back to this and we'll set it off outside. Maybe someday when nobody's around, we can don our safety glasses. Seen it break a back because they sat on it wrong when it went off. They thought they were going to have a laugh. That is fucked up. Hopefully they got medical attention fast enough for it to not be a super duper issue. But this thing went off right now, it would singe my hands. It would hurt me. It would fuck me up bad. So this is a life-changing device right here, which is why I'm not going to trifle with it too much. I want to look at the warning labels. Yeah, as somebody who knows, detonators and bombs, we're not messing with this thing. Umgagner drusketschlush personal erlabot verwinderwungner als insassen rockenhall test system mit luftstack for krafte hörsige erlabot. What a beautiful language. All right, where's the English? Flammable. The German warning is hyper-specific. The English one is do not bang rock against, go back to cave. To avoid injury, never repair, disassemble, incinerate, bring into contact with electricity, install onto another vehicle, store above 93 degrees Celsius. Oh, they give us Fahrenheit because we're dumb. See repair manual for details. Let's unwrap this. What's going on here? Don't I have one that's already opened? Damn it. I should open it. The joke is better if it's opened. It's just so tightly shrink wrapped. There we go. I buy these lithium 9-volt batteries so that I can put them in smoke detectors so that they never ever beep again until I move. Until I move to a different house. No, I'm not going to do it. All right. The ammo can is way in the back of the shop over here. It's like way over there. So, yeah, no, I'm not going to do that. No. Getting to it is not going to be easy with the setup that I've sort of thrust upon myself. So maybe I just leave this at that and we just put this into a safe spot in the corner. And I'll just hope that whatever day I decide to move it down to the ammo bin, I'm not going to actually come into contact with it. Oh, I buy the Fluke because you can drop it down a flight of stairs and it still works perfectly. We use it for a lot of our troubleshooting of electronics because the multimeter is much easier than the oscilloscope. The oscilloscope is a more refined tool, but it's for like messing with higher level things than what the multimeter is. And so when something goes wrong, you basically check to see what's going on with power. Is there too much power going into it? Is there too little? Or is there something heating up? That's what the thermal camera's for. But then, is something connected? Is something disconnected? And all that is just straight up multimeter banging. What I do is I attach the high voltage probes to them. The high voltage probes give you this long standoff distance, which is not that much of an advantage. Maybe an advantage when you're doing high voltage stuff, but for the multimeter, having these high voltage sharp probes means that you can poke through solder mask layers. You can actually poke through and see whether or not a trace has a connection. A smoke alarm beep for channel points. I have to pay, as a type 1 diabetic, Welcome to my show. I'm a type 1 diabetic. For some reason, there's a lot of type 1 diabetic streamers. I know of 3 of them. 2 of them are vastly more popular than I am, and I'm basically invisible on their channels. But I am a type 1 diabetic. For some reason, the Twitch people that I know, there's no camaraderie. If there's type 1 diabetics in my chat, I will pay attention to you exclusively. That's how I operate. But I am a type 1 diabetic, which means that as a millennial from the 90s and some of the 80s, although I didn't have diabetes in the 80s, it was in the 90s. From the 90s on, I've had type 1 diabetes, which means my life is ruled by beeps. There are blood testing devices that beep, insulin pumps that beep, glucometers that beep, glucose meters that beep. Everything beeps. And whenever I hear a beep, I have to pay attention to a beep. So in order for me to give you guys control of a beep, I would have to sustain a permanent brain injury because I can't tolerate beeps. Even now, my phone buzzes at me and beeps in a particular way, and the insulin pump that I'm wearing, when it runs out of insulin, it will set off a constant beep. I'm still plagued by beeps. I have a thing about them. I do not suffer beeps to live. There was a time on this stream when I actually took a screwdriver to a beeper in order to disarm it. This thing is so scary. This is basically an Estes model rocket with a detonator on the end, designed to go off in a millisecond. It would actually be kind of fun to put a cone on the end and see how far up in the air we could get this thing to go. But yeah, let's just put this over here for now. We're just gonna put it like way over here, just like way over there. I want to throw it, but I also don't really don't want to throw it. So I'm just going to place it right there. And if that goes off, I will no longer have eardrums, maybe, because it'll probably go foomp really loud. But now I can do the whole pokery on this wiring harness without worrying. But we saw an allusion towards there being a headrest detonator as well. So we need to actually suss that out and see whether or not there is in fact a headrest airbag in this car. The best part diagram that we have without actually figuring out what actual car we have is this one. This one has a curtain airbag and it has a side airbag. It does not have a headrest airbag. But we were looking around, BMW 528 F10 active headrest airbag. And he's doing little squishy motions on the side there. That is not what we have. No. That's not the headrest we have. That is not, no, that's not what we have. That's not the headrest. Never mind. Okay, so we don't have I don't think there's a detonator in the headrest. Just to be sure. How do you store something like that? I'd be afraid of creating shrapnel. An ammo can, a 50 caliber ammo can, because that's a box that's designed to store explosives without them being perturbed. It's literally designed to hold a whole bunch of 50 caliber bullets. And you used to be able to go to any old gun show in Pennsylvania, which oddly has a Nazi memorabilia stand, but none of that stuff is actually from World War II. Why is that there? What are they doing? Anyway, you can go to any old gun show in Pennsylvania or Virginia or any of those other states, and some vendor will be there with a whole pallet of empty 50 caliber ammo cans, and they were cheap. I don't know what they're like nowadays. They're probably selling for a lot more. Let's look at eBay. Let's see what eBay has, since we've already got an eBay window up. Caliber, not burr. Not bad. 10 bucks, 30 bucks, 40, 30, 20. That's not too bad. They used to be like 10 bucks, but that's what I do is I keep an ammo can on the floor down here, and that's what holds the explosive airbag stuff. And I think some bullets are in there too. But like the scene in which those would actually be going off inside of that ammo can would be a scene where I'm nowhere near. I would be outside and the shop would be on fire. So that's also how I store lithium ion batteries. The ammo can that's right behind this thing here, that's full of lithium ion batteries. Just in case. Technically, if you're OSHA, you're supposed to be storing stuff like that outside. And they have cabinets that are partially inside and partially outside. There we go. So those are back. These little springy things, thingy things. Springy thing. Oh, it's like not... Oh, wait a minute. Let's put the plastic back in. We got to put the plastic back in here. It'll be a little loose, but this part of the seat is like collapsing because there's no longer an airbag in there. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take this, and I could take that little bracket and I could re-rivet the bracket in, but I think all I need is just this to bolster in that side and give it a little bit of depth. So let's try to snap him a thing just a little bit. We don't need it to be completely accurate, but it can definitely hold its own and hopefully stay in that spot. I should put a rumble pack in here. We should like take this out and put like a big motor in it with like a spinny thing so it can be a big rumble pack for the seat. That'd be kind of cool. Well, we got to remember that that's there because there's wires that go to it. So we could just use the airbag wires with a motor and just make it a rumble pack for the side of the seat. That'd be hilarious. Rumblebee Timbers would be the command that you guys could usher. Oh no, is that rivet going to keep me from putting this back in? I mean, I can't just stick this in the hole. We could just fill the hole with it. Oh, hold on. Let's get the snap back in. There we go. This one too. Shit. Nobody asks, how is the bomb? Just shove it back in its spot. There, see now the seat has its side profile. There we go. So I did need to keep the plastic, I just don't need to keep the bag of the airbag. And that means we got a big hole in the side of the seat that we could do something weird with if we really feel like it. All right, there we go. It's seat shaped again. Cool. Toss the Hitachi in there. Put the plastic case label on camera. Oh, sorry, George. Okay, hold on. It went in just as easy as it comes out. Or does it? It like falls in a thing. There we go. Whew. All right. F10. 2013. 13B232Z. TO995. What is this part number? M550 front left airbag. Front left airbag. SRS airbag integrated. SRS? Ah, a little different of a model. No, wait, 877-385. Wait, 877-383. This one's 877-357. And then 7803101. Whew. So that's, yeah, that's the, I got a telephone number on this thing. Conformete Europini. 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 You dumb all right, anyway. Shorty can probably rewind and get to that if he needs to. I don't know why he wants the part number, but there it is. All right, let me get this part of it back together properly. As we sort of haphazardly undid these rivets. This thing is now totally safe, and I feel fine messing with it. There we go. Okay, that's back. This one doesn't really, you kind of got to do them all at the same time. But I sort of removed all of the structure around them so that they can, some of them can snap in from the side. Some of them, a lot of them can't. A lot of them cannot. I cannot do it. There we go. That'll sit a little bit more flush. You know, or I could just put a bomb in here. That would be funny. It's going to get its revenge and poke me with plastic. No, 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 no. This is actually a very soft plastic, to be honest. It's pretty rubbery. And I guess it's just designed to like explode. Like this is all weakened up here. And I guess this piece of it, this face of it would probably shear off. But like all these tabs holding it in, I wonder if those would shear too. I guess this is just designed, this stuff is like super thin. So yeah, this whole face is what explodes. There's all kinds of like warning label on it. Wait a minute. There's like text in the plastic. Ancient runes. Use is permissible only in vehicles fitted with occupant restraint systems, including airbag. To be handled by trained staff only. Do not open. Oh. Debut, not remove. Ooh, not install in another vehicle. Oh. Danger to the manifold. Danger of malfunction and injury. On triggering, the uninstalled airbag unit may turn into a dangerous For behavioral instructions, please see service manual. Attention, utilizer, exclusivement dans un système automobile de retenue de passagers à cause manipulation réservée au personnel. Okay, enough of that. So that's weird. There's a warning label inside of this thing to tell you not to transplant it into other cars, but also that we should be using it according to the service manual. And it's a good thing they wrote it on the airbag, on the outside of the face towards enemy part of the airbag, inside of the seat, held in by a rivet. I guess this is for the installer. I guess it's instructions for the installer. I'm sure somebody a lot more educated than me has done a lot of math on this particular piece of plastic. A lot of math, a lot of repeatability testing. There's probably quite a bit of, what do you call that again? Something or other analysis, the thing you should run away from if they try to get you to do it in engineering. Something body analysis, maybe. A lot of, yeah, there's a lot of engineering math that's going into, because if you'll notice, all this stuff is super weak around this perimeter here. And then they maintain most around here. So this thing peels like that. And presumably these can hold on to it while it ballistically separates up here from the force of gas throwing it out. Crazy stuff. I mean, but then how is it designed to come out of the side panel of the seat? I guess it would just break all this stuff. And maybe this fabric is going to rip away. Oh, that's what it is. There's a seam that goes this way. So it would peel that out. And then the airbag comes out and around. Finite element analysis, that's what I was looking for. Yeah. So this peels back this way. The airbag, this tears, and then the airbag comes out and around so that you don't bonk into the side of the car. Maybe the seat isn't from G30 Gen 5 series since it says F10. It did blatantly say F10 on it, yeah. A tear stitch. Yeah, it's cool to see. It's cool to see how they engineered that. And we got one intact. This is what I did with the airbag in the steering wheel as well. Not that steering wheel, but the other steering wheel. I had the steering wheel sitting around the shop, and because I sold my car, that was the E46, and I put my E46M steering wheel on my E39, and it worked perfectly. All of the signals for the steering wheel buttons are all exactly the same, and all the airbag connectors are the same connectors. Those two generations of cars are just a face swap apart, basically. And so I was able to swap my good airbag, the newer airbag that I think has shrapnel in it, into the steering wheel, into the M steering wheel, and have that hook up to all the car systems and work. And then I was left with an extra airbag from the E46 wheel that I was going to put on the steering wheel on this project. So I swapped the older wheel for the M wheel in my car, and the older airbag and everything, and sold it. So that's gone, and it's got a, it's got a working airbag and all that stuff. But then somehow in all that swapping, because I swapped that one to an E40, I don't know, somehow I ended up with an airbag, like an extra airbag that I didn't have use for. So I don't know how that happened. How did I get an extra airbag? Why did I have one? I don't think I disarmed the E39, and this thing did not come with an airbag. So that wasn't it. I don't know how I have airbag detonators. It is a mystery to everyone. Oh, because that wheel had a different... Did it have a different airbag? You know, there's a disconnect somewhere around there, and I don't know why. Because if I straight swapped the two wheels, and then I was left with... the M airbag went into my car. It's the one that I'm using right now. Maybe I disarmed the E39 airbag because I just didn't like having it around. Which means that that wheel is never finding its way back into my car because it doesn't have an airbag. It's like a cyst. You can kind of massage it into place. All right, there we go. And these will be a future haha funny joke thing. Maybe I can get like a seat thumper and put it in there. All right, so there's the thing in my title. Although technically not disarmed, it is just sitting over there, still active. I do not think we have a second airbag in this thing. I can check, but if you want to build an actually realistic racing rig, it needs airbags too. Depends on what racing league you're going into. That all depends, you know? All right, so let's trace some wires here. So down here, I've got wires that go up to this. And then those wires go to the motor. Yeah, it goes to the motor. Oh wait, there's still a rivet back here. Look at what's left of the rivet over here. Look at that. Get that out of here. Get that out of my sight. It's ripping up my fingernails. Yeah, weirdly enough, the seat height, the headrest seat height is dependent on a motor. From Brosi. It's the brand, apparently. Bro, I made a motor. Want to see? Bro, see my motor? Yeah, there's no other wires that go up to the headrest, so that's it. That's it. It's just this motor. And this is 4 wires? Yeah, it's 4 wires. 3 wires, actually. Bro, see my headrest? 3 wires, man. Check that. No, it's 4 wires. It's 4. It's 4 wires. It's 2 thick wires for power and then 2 thin wires for position. And it seems like the seat that does not have memory still has seat position wires, which is interesting. Very interesting. So I am now clear to hit these pins with 12 volts and figure out which ones do seat adjustments without risking my bacon. Crashing would be a lot more realistic. That would be one of these dudes that does these like super viral videos, and I don't know, I've never been able to crack that egg because I'm not above, you know, blowing up a couple airbags around me to make a funny video if I can make it safe enough. I would love to be the guy that makes, hold on one sec, I gotta mute. So I got bra straps. I'm wearing suspenders under the shirt to hold my pants up as I lose weight, which means I periodically have to adjust my suspenders and it looks like I'm wearing a bra, which I very well may be. What's your problem with that? Anyway, I would, you know, the guys that sit around with their super crazy setups and, you know, they shoot the gun in the game and the whole desk fucking flies up in their face and everything falls apart. The monitor falls apart, right? Because they've removed all the screws and barely held the monitor together, because it's funny if the monitor completely detonates and falls apart and all that stuff, right? It's funny. This guy's shaking his whole desk around and it's blowing up in his face. I would love to do that. I would love to do that. But the aftermath of that, I don't want to deal with. And, you know, every time I've tried to do something that would like get the channel known and blow up LEDs with 120 volts and stuff like that, like it always falls flat on its face. I never go viral. None of my stuff turns the corner and suddenly gains traction. And there's a lot of interested parties in seeing that happen someday. They thought that it was inevitable, but it still hasn't. So I don't know where to put the drill right now. I'm just gonna put it on the desk. So I don't know. I haven't figured out this internet thing, right? The tank sim, there's the tank sim. That was like, I think that was the evolution of the desk rumbler for FPS games. And then they also did the realistic flashbang, which was another one that's a little bit hammed up, but also somewhat realistic. So according to what I was reading, There's a lot of spider webs under this thing. I can just hit some of these pins with power and it will move the motors. Now there's probably also seat heaters in here too. This looks like it's another airbag. This is the same connector as the airbag. What is this doing in here? This is an airbag connector. It must be for like a... Hold on, let's look at where the airbags are. Oh, we don't need this anymore. We don't need this. We don't need this. Yeah, there must be another like curtain airbag in the particular car that my brother has, because the harness has another airbag connector going down to the bottom. Prepared for another streamer? Seriously, if I do this to somebody hotter than me, maybe they'll go viral. I'm cursed to lead people to a treasure I cannot obtain myself. I don't get it, man. People go viral for all different kinds of things these days. I just can't seem to figure it out, you know. And one of the things is like, I can't try. Like if I try, it looks fake, so. Good luck. There's nobody hotter than you, Bother. Aw. Thanks, bro. Yeah, it can be a curse if you're expected. That's the other thing, is the expectation. Like, what if Uwo's Lab suddenly wanted to do content like I do, where we're not screaming and yelling and stuff's exploding all over the place, right? What if he wanted to do my content? His viewership would drop to my numbers. Wait, no, it wouldn't. He would retain some people, but there's an expectation that Uwo's Lab does bolstery, crazy bullshit and blows everything up and... My mic cable fell out. You guys weren't talking without me. Wilson is ADHD degenerate's cat. Try to give him a full bath. Never again. I'll stick to just rinsing him from the sink from now on. We do that with Willow when she has runny poos. Our dog is a fluffy corgi and she is full of fur. And she has a lot of fur, so much so that it is unhygienic. So if she takes like a runny poo, she will walk over to the sink where I will lift her up into the sink and we use a little spray nozzle to wash her butt. I got dog shit in my sink. It's a stainless sink. I clean it out afterwards. Thought it was me there for a second. She's a wonderful dog. She has become a huge part of the family over the past couple months, past couple of years. There we go. That's a little bit more stable. Now, I would like to move this thing back and forth. Wilson just stinky because he's running around and playing a lot. Had to give him a bum scrub for a full bath. Yeah, so in the past, we tried to bathe Willow in my bathroom, which has a little sprayer nozzle, so I can wash my ass. And she's a good sport. She plays along with it just right. You know, she's like, all right, I'm getting a bath. And she sort of acts like, you know, you don't need me here anymore. I'm just going to leave. And so she just tries to like leave, but she's got so much hair that she stays wet for a long time. And we have to like blow dry her off and it just doesn't do the trick. So we both have willies. Willers. All right, so motors that I want to move. I want to move this one because I want to withdraw. I want to move the seat back up a little bit because right now it's folded over for removal from the car. So the wire colors that I'm looking for are, what is this one? Oh, this is the one for this motor. This is for the motor that's missing, the one that does the lateral adjustment. We are looking for the seat back, which is going to be white. And, all right, maybe I can just pull the connector. Give me this. Give me this, you freaking jerk. Jeez, there's like spider webs all over this thing. So blue and yellow and brown are the sensor. And then white, green, and white, blue. White, green, and white, blue is what we're looking for. My larger dog absolutely refuses to get in the bathtub, still working on making it a more positive experience. We've given up and we send Willow to the groomers which I don't know if she likes it or not, but she comes back very, very fluffy from the groomers. But we don't have her like trimmed because she's a fluffy. So we just have them shampoo and dry the dog. I think the trick is you need to get like a little headband to put around the dog's ears so that they don't freak out at like an industrial vacuum cleaner trying to dry them off. Gonna BRB, gonna go get some cat stuff and get some Pokemon cards. All right, have fun. 88 DGen's been getting very much into that Pokemams thing on his Nintendron. All right, these are the wires that I'm looking for. Not on his Nintendo. He's been doing the card collecting thing. I saw them loading up the machine at my local supermarket, and I thought to myself, I'm like, you could make a lot of money if you just stake this thing out right now. I don't know when that bubble's going to pop, though. That seems like a bubble that's going to pop pretty hard. I am not seeing the particular... This is 2 motor connectors. Why are there 2? There's 2 of them now? They can fly now? Am I missing another motor is the question here. I don't think so. Because this lateral motor, we've got one of the tilt motors over there, and then we've got the seat back motor over here. And I think that's all the controls that we have. Aside from the lumbar support, which is an air pump. Unless they're on this connector. We need to get this connector out of here so I can take a look at it. How does this one come out? Go down? Oh, it just breaks. Okay, cool. I think there's like a hook on one side. Hold on, I gotta peer in and figure out how to get this connector out so we got the full access to the whole wiring harness. Yeah, because there's 6 pins in that one. I don't know how this comes out. Nope, not like that. Something else holding it in. What is holding you in? Why are you like this? Is there a little lever here? The problem with these connectors is that they tear your hands apart. My hands are completely torn apart. Like my fingernails are all busted up now. I'm going to have to bite my nails to crap and back. Yeah, it looks like it's snapped in to something here. Well, that's not going to help. Oh, here we go. Okay, there's two tabs that need to be moved a little bit out of the way. Oh no, they go back. We have to go back. There we go. Got him. Got him. Okay. All right, now we've got the whole harness dropped below this thing so I really need to move the seat back because it doesn't quite sit on the stool right. And if it doesn't sit on the stool right, it means it leans all over the place. Okay, so the wires we are looking for are not on this harness. This might be the harness that goes to the controls area, although it goes to here. And that branches off, and this is the control wire over here. Excuse me. I don't know. 5 pins? And then 2 big blade pins. 2 big blade pins that go into there, and I don't know where they go from there. So we're looking for the harness that has white, green, white with a green stripe, white with a blue stripe. I think this is the motor harness right here. This is the one that has all of the different motors on it. Does it have the sense wires? It might have that too. So let's take a look. White with a green stripe. I think that's blue. Yeah, that's blue. So we got blue here, and we got, is that one? That one's black. White, black. White, green. So it's this funky doodad. Now I'm probably not going to be able to get like connectors for all these harnesses, right? I could spend a lot of money and do it, and I kind of have for some of the other car parts, but like I don't think it's going to really be worth it for all of these different wires. I think what we need to do is we need to make like a little control box that we can route our wires into, and then I can have screw terminals for all of them. We can just put ferrule connectors on the ends of all these. Yule log. Oh, white green, there we go. So white, blue, and white, green are just right here. That's gray. That's gray. This is the problem with being slightly colorblind. But it does look like, yeah, none of these. This might be a safety harness because it's got. Well, I didn't actually clock what color those airbag wires were. These appear to be the motors, though. We don't know what order they're in either. Gray and yellow, and then black on that side. And then the one that I think is blue-gray, but it's looking a little bit like violet, is next in line. So it might be the second set of these pins are going to do the seat back adjustments. So let's get the power supply going with 12 volts, and let me get some pokey pins over here. Yeah, cut them and swap into something common. Common would be DB connectors, and I might end up doing DB connectors, which would please Flatulent Gonad very, very much. Because he works exclusively in DB connectors. I think that would be a fine thing to do. I might do that. DB connectors are nice and easy. And they can carry, you know, 12 volts and a couple amps. Here's my jumper wires as a pseudo-fusible link. And I've got this thing on like 4 volts right now. We got to jump that up to 12. And we're current limited at 6 amps, I think. Last time I checked. 3 amps. Okay, 3 amps is fine. Oh no, 6 amps. We're at 3 volts. Well, let me get this up to 12 volts. Eh. Okay, now we're at 12 volts. And this is going to make a big spark and scare us. Since we've been so careful around the airbag stuff. Oh, power supply's not on. Turn it on. The other thing about building a controller is that instead of having this thing instantly flip on, I can have it do like a PWM thing to keep the motor from suddenly coming to life, which is what's about to happen. Ready? 3, 2, 1, go. Yeah, there we go. I got it right. Neat. How many amps did that draw? 2 amps. So I've got to make whatever I do to the seat survive 2 amps of current. I don't think there were any sparks. Oh, that's not what I thought it was. That's not the seat back. So if I reverse this, yeah, it goes back up. So this is seat lowering. No, that's a different motor. Let's just test the next one in line. Nothing. Okay, that scared me. Try this one. Nothing. One before it. Oh, that one's already adjusted all the way. Oh, that's bringing that down. That's the front of the seat adjustment. 0.8 amps. What happens when it reaches its limit? Oh, it draws 5 amps. I don't know if there's a limit switch on it. All right, so that's the front of the seat adjust. So those are our back shots and our front shots. Oh yeah, it might draw more if you're sitting in it. That's true. So that is our up and back. That's exclusively on this terminal. There's more here. Wait, which one were you? That's this one. This one is up and back for those. But then I think that's it. There's only 8 wires. No, 4 wires. I think there might be another one. There's way more motors in this thing, though. I'm going to have to record all this, too, so that we can take it over. So it's probably on these large spade connectors that are doing all of this stuff. You know, I can poke around this thing now without setting off an airbag. That was the whole purpose of what we were doing before, is so that I could poke around on this thing without blowing up in my face. Well, it maxes out at 5 amps because the power supply is limited. Yeah, exactly. Because I'm about to plug into 2 wires that I don't know what they do. They're big, thick wires, so wish me luck. Either I'm not hitting the wires or there's nothing connected between these two, because 12 volts is not doing anything to them. Some of the terminals I would believe would be a seat heater. Yeah, I'm not getting anything from that. Okay. Unrelated, I guess. Or one of them is a common ground and there's other ones for other motors. We just don't know. Like these could potentially be motors, but they might not be. And they might be in a different order than I expect. Whoa, there's the seat back. All right. Wait, or is that the headrest? What am I adjusting? What was moving? I don't know. Check the headrest. The headrest looks like it's down. I think I reclined the seat a little bit. Oh, good. I need to keep doing that then, because I want this to be in like a seating position so that I can sit in it and make vroom vroom noises to myself. Ooh, my wire's heated up from that. Yeah, that's another 2 amp. Why does it feel like the headrest is what's being... No, it is the whole thing. It is the whole thing. Yeah, it is reclining, so I need to go a little further back. It's just it's moving all weird. Was it the headrest? No, it's not the headrest. I don't think. Hold on, let me look at the camera while I do this. Oh, it is the headrest. Why did it stop moving? Oh, because when it's full, that's the full headrest extension. Ah, Jesus, fuck. Get stink bugged. What am I going to do about this fucking stink bug that's sitting right here? What am I going to fucking do about this little guy? I don't want to smell that smell. I would prefer if you would fuck off and climb into my fan where you can get insta-killed. How did you hitch a ride in my fucking chair? Vacuum cleaner. I don't know if my shop vac's gonna kill him. Probably will. All right, vacuum cleaner it is. Here we go. I can't get to it right now, but I can probably move this stuff a little and reach it. Jesus. Vacuum cleaner. Oh, there's actually another vacuum cleaner down here. I'm gonna use that. Hopefully it won't stink it up. Do. Stink bug, get stink bugged. Stink bug. You got stink bugged. I stink bugged you. Oh my God, I can vacuum that too. Big dog hair barge. You guys keeping an eye on that fucker? You see him? See something, say something. Here we go. Got him. The only good bug is a dead bug. Actually, I'm going to turn that back on for a minute. I want to make sure it's dead. I think the pressure difference will crush him, but I'm not sure. All right, that's enough of that. So if he's still alive after all that, because he probably fell into a big pile of dog hair in the vacuum bag. So I'm not totally sure that would kill him. Maybe I should vacuum up some metal hardware just in case. It now has the labyrinthian task of finding its way out of the vacuum cleaner, but it was hitching a ride on the chair, which I don't think was stored outside, so I don't know how that got in there. But it certainly is doomed if it gets out of the house, because it's negative 9 degrees Celsius out there, and that bug will not survive in that weather. So hopefully it does not let off its stink. Presumably we just killed it in a quarter of a second, humanely, and that's the end of it. Thankfully, it got cold way before normal, and we only had a day or two of stink bugs. Yeah, is their season like right before winter? Is that what's going on? Vacuum was a really good suggestion because I don't have stink bug stink. I hate that. That chemical just like makes your nose go weird. If you vacuum up metal now, the stink bug will get iron armor. Vacuum up a bunch of gold and it comes out in enchanted armor. I see. During the fall, they're high. I'm having a good hair day, by the way. Late fall, they're looking for hiding places. Yeah, that's usually when they find their way into my window. And I had a mini infestation last year, and I had to just kill a lot of stink bugs in order to get them out. We were all freaking out about you using the vac because it usually makes it stink. That vacuum bag is going in the garbage when stream's done. So it shouldn't make it stink. And I think the pressure difference is enough to kill the bug. I think it should be anyway. Okay, so we figured out how to move the seat. It's all the connectors that are actually moving this stuff around are the big wide ones. But these are different. This might be the seat heater. It's going to be, I'm going to have to do a lot more exploration in order to figure out what's doing what. Wait, did that do the seat back, or was that actually moving the headrest? That was moving the headrest. That's right. Okay, so we were moving the headrest. I need to move it in the opposite direction. And since we don't have position sensor, the position sensors are on these other pins, and we just don't know what these other pins do. I'm going to have to move it back now. We have a special handheld stink bug vacuum that I modified to use lipos with XT60s. Oh my God. So, back in the stream archive area where I have all the old projects, I have a Outrunner motor. It's one of the like mid-sized. It's not like people moving size like these are. It's like one of the big drone sizes, and it's not wide, it's not torquey, but it's fast. And I hooked that up with a motor controller, unfortunately too loud of a motor controller, to a vacuum motor because we were desperately trying to figure out how to suck smoke out of this thing. But that I could modify to do like a 4S configuration through like a leftover speed controller. We were trying to get it running, and we actually broke a bunch of our speed controllers. Like the speed controller was so sensitive. It was like Afrotech from like 2012. Krispy Kreme 2012. No, it was like an Afrotech from like 2012. And if you like hook up to it just a little bit weird, or just not quite do things in the right sequence, it'll just die. Yeah, because that's the era that I was doing drone stuff, was when those were popular. They're not anymore, but yeah, they got better stuff now. I bought 4, Fly Sky or whatever, thin, super micro speed controllers for $15 on Amazon. Insane that those would be the prices for things like that. Just insane. This motor right here, the one with the yellow wires, is the one that we're looking for. That's the one that does the seat back. But before we do that, I need to reverse what I just did with the headrest, because we lifted the headrest all the way up. Insane. You're just saying that because I said that. How's it going, Disco's son? This is my cousin from Brisbane, if he's still in Brisbane. My brother dropped off this oh, there we go. That is the opposite. It's moving. Okay, all right. My brother dropped off this seat because he bought a coworker's BMW. And he knows I'm a little bit of a BMW freak. I mostly am just because my friends are. So if I ever want to fix something, they have all the resources I would ever need to fix things. But he bought this BMW from his coworker. It's a relatively modern BMW. And then he was fixing it up because the most expensive thing you can buy is a cheap BMW. It needs all these maintenances to get it into the high mileages. So he did all the maintenances. And while he was doing all of the maintenances, he found himself in a junkyard where there was another BMW, and it was a more luxurious BMW. And so he took all the interior from the more luxurious BMW and he swapped it because he's a freak and he likes to work on cars. That meant one day I'm talking to him on the phone and he says, I got this whole interior from another BMW. Do you think it'd fit in yours? And I'm like, no, mine's from the year 2000. But I was like, you know what it would go with? I could have a good time reverse engineering that sucker. and throwing it into my simulator setup. What uses real car parts? Wahahaha! Those are BMW pedals and a Mercedes steering wheel, because it has paddles in the back, as well as a 3D printed shifter that we made feel like a real shifter. That's really everything else is actual car parts. So now I have a chair with no airbag in it. We removed the airbag detonator. It's sitting right there menacingly. That's the airbag inflator unit. And the rest of the body of the airbag is actually back in here. But what that means is that I can now just poke at these connectors to see what they do. Beamer Bros, yeah. His is much more modern, and I think it's automatic. Although I don't know if I wonder if he's going to swap it to manual. Did they sell manual in that year? I think they did. All right, so we got the seat, the headrest to retract all the way. That's a fun one. So where are these yellow wires going? The last row. So this right here will do the seat back adjustment, I think. Thanks for the update on your brother. My dad will love that. Yeah, he's just doing his thing. He's got a whole bushel of kids that they're taking to practices and stuff. And he still has the Excursion, the car that's about the size of our garage. Okay, that's making a seat back adjustment noise. That's what that sounds like to me. But yeah, so this is an entire damn car seat, and it's actually a big thing. It is a very large object that I am going to now incorporate into a simulator setup that has all of my man-baby doodads in it, so that I can sit on this thing and make vrooming noises in video games. It is stupid, but it's a bit of a windfall, because these are expensive. And it'll help me have a luxury car simulator, which I think is funny. Everybody's out here trying to simulate race cars. I want to simulate a luxury car. I always wonder why nobody's ever done this. If you look up like sim setups, people have car seats in their sim setups, like real ones. They're usually a little bit older. But the car seats on eBay and stuff, because the used car prices are crazy now, you could walk away with a seat like this for like $500, $600. Maybe 400 if you're careful, but you know, maybe an older seat. Mostly what people are doing is buying like racing seats. So they got all those like side bolsters on them. I don't need that. I'm not pulling G's in this thing. But you see it a lot. I mean, a lot of people are using car seats to do crazy stuff like this. We're gonna have to build ourselves like a controller. All right, how far back do I want this to be? I want it to be like a seating position. Yeah. Yeah, that's a little better. That's more of a seating position. Not quite bolt upright, leaning back just a tiny bit. So the thing about me like sitting on this thing is that there's these huge pins that'll kind of drive themselves into the floor, which you know, I'm not a big fan of. These big pins that are sticking out of this thing to, I guess, as a crash safety measure, because you can use smaller bolts to bolt it down if these pins are going to hold the whole seat back. I don't know. This thing is crazy. What other motors does it have? One of them probably is an inflation thing. Don't look that up online. Some of them just aren't populated. Because so far we've got this, and this motor, the one that's down there. We've been able to manipulate the motor down there for the headrest. This one here for the seat back leaning. And then this one and this one, which do the sort of the delicate dance of the two lifting motors of the seat. And I assume that all the other wires that are going up there are either motor sensors or the buttons over here. Although the buttons over here I think are going to be 5 volts. So we kind of don't want to tempt them. We don't want to mess with them too much. And I don't know which connector here would have 5 volts. That would lead me to believe that these two here, these two big... I was trying to use a funny word in there, and then I just there's nothing in my brain. My brain is just completely, it just kind of flatlined all of a sudden. It was like, hey, you're trying to say a sentence that sounds cool. I am going to stop you. We've got 2 giant wires coming out of this thing, and it looks like brown and slightly redder brown. I want to think that those are heating, but I put 12 volts on those, and nothing happened. So I'm not exactly sure what they would be doing. All the ones that go that way are thin. Those are for the motor. Two big thick wires. Actually, we've got here. Do they just go back over to this controller over here? Maybe they power up the safety controller, because there were two controllers on this thing, two boxes. One of them's the one that interfaces with the yellow connector, which I believe is airbags, but there's a lot more connectors than just the airbags on this thing. So I'm gonna have to do. We tried to do a little bit of research. Short Lurker was helping. Some other of you guys were helping. Look around. Did it get warm? No, it wasn't. It wasn't drawing any current. There was no current going into it. You know, you would expect with a heater there would be a certain number of ohms for the heater, and then when you connect it, it would draw a lot of current, and then it would get warm. But nothing. I got nothing. There's also an air pump somewhere in this wiring harness, and the air pump does the lumbar support. We tried to find a part number, or rather, sorry, a parts diagram, a pinout diagram. We couldn't find anything. So I may need to sit down with the notepad and figure out each individual junction here. I've got the seat in a state now where I could potentially like put something under these pins and sit on it. So one of the things that I want to do, maybe next stream, maybe in the near future, is we sort of disassemble the pedals a little bit. And then what we can do is put those on the floor and put this on top of it, and I can see what the sort of the ergonomics of it is, and we can use that to inform us on what the rest of the design is going to look like, because it'll be like a narrow thing that sits on the floor. There will be a little tower in the middle where the wheel is going to be suspended, and then off of that I need something angled that the pedals can then mount to and be in the correct position. I took measurements of my car. I want it to feel like my car, but my car has the seats that have the little thing that comes out front and kind of holds onto the front of your legs. I don't have that with this chair, so we're gonna have to figure that out. So all that in good time. All right, so to keep this on topic of disarming the airbag, I think we succeeded. We tore it down to its lowest component part that I'm comfortable interacting with. In the future, if we ever want to like haha funny set these off, I'll have to cut the harness connector, and then we can kind of like manipulate. We can put some wire on that so I can get away from it. That would be if I ever set up like an outdoor camera to do it. What's really going to happen is I'm going to pack away some of this stuff after today's stream, and so I can get to that ammo can, open it up, put the thing in there, close the ammo can, close the chapter on this dangerous airbag stuff, because those are designed to go off loudly and create a lot of gas that will inflate an airbag and keep you safe in an accident. I am not in an accident at the moment. I could be, but I'm not. So I need to put these in a safe spot where I don't have to worry about them. And we can continue to poke this seat with voltage and figure out how to make a controller for the whole thing. Did you remove the seal in the ammo can? No, it'll pop open, but they're designed to pop open. They're designed to pop open. That's how they work. That's you're storing ammo in a can. Ammo is explosive, so you don't want to make it into a larger explosive. So you have ways of letting gas out of those things in a rapid disassembly event. All right, so remove the seal and storing lipos. Interesting. Proud of you for having so much stuff stuffed in there. I am like completely inundated. I don't have any storage anymore. There's no room for things. And yet my friends keep showing up with things like large pieces of lab equipment that I can't say no to. That's probably bro science. I mean, like, the way an ammo can is built is to keep the environment out. And then if something rapidly expands inside of it, I think the design of the lid is such that it can open itself partially and not have the lid fly away. I have seen during an explosives demonstration, they put an explosives detonator into an ammo can and set it off. And the ammo can went about 30 feet in the air and then lazily fell back down with a big clang. So I'm not sure either, really, to be honest. I don't know what they're basing it off of. That's kind of a grim thing to... Is it dangerous to store ammo in a metal ammo canister? Like a 30-50 caliber one? Isn't that what it's for? Oh my god, this is a big answer. Military surplus ammo can is one of the safer ways to store ammo, even in a house fire. Modern ammunition uses smokeless powder, which does not exactly explode in the sense that it's something like a grenade explodes. The powder only has enough power to do anything while it's contained under pressure, like in the barrel or the chamber of a gun. If you pour a pile of smokeless powder in your driveway and throw them at... Okay, we don't need to worry about this. When the cartridge is detonated outside of a gun, the brass case holds the first bit of pressure in, then the bullet pops out of the case, splits, and the pressure just sort of leaks away. The same as if powder was in your driveway. Why are we obsessed with this? Again, it could burn you. Okay, who cares? Makes a little pop since popping a cartridge open. Several bullets inside of an ammo can. Those cans are tough and will momentarily hold the pressure as the first few rounds cook off. Those cans aren't really as tough as the chamber of a gun. The can will quickly fail. Either one of the seams will split or the lid will pop off, releasing the pressure. And again, it's a two-part lid, so it'll pop off and the lid will only open partially. Simply split open or lose its lid, allowing a flash of hot gas to escape. It'll pop like a steel balloon, not explode like a bomb. The bullets will be popping out of their cases, but not with enough force to shoot through the can. This guy knows his cans. Like, seems like he's thrown an ammo can on a fire or something before. Just will really liven up the bonfire. Ignite enough of the power in a room all at once, and you can get enough pressure to blow out the windows and doors, and of course, get a lot of flame and scorching and hot gas at that. Up the power to ridiculous amounts is like high explosives. In a tightly sealed room, you can generate enough pressure to blow out the walls, blow off the roof. Okay. Now you're just into bomb porn. Cora is a really weird place. Cartridges are safe enough that they can be shipped without hazardous material license. Sporting goods stores have hundreds of thousands of them stocked in open shelves without violating commercial fire codes. Putting them in steel boxes can only help make them safer. So in the same vein, our airbag going off and releasing a whole bunch of pressure, that ammo can is going to capitulate and let the pressure out, but it will hopefully partially contain all the bullshit that's coming out of it. Yeah, this guy's obsessed with blowing up his driveway. Oh, the Reddit answer. Hold on. Really? Reddit? Really? Okay, there we go. Oh, look, it's the exact same batteries that I have. Only mine are older, much older than these. These are all the same ones. I have one of those boxes too. I used to store my my insulin supplies in it. I should resurrect that thing as a way to store some of my insulin pump stuff. They're contained. A lipo should explode. It would usually make things worse. Pressure buildup and heat is more explosions. The lipo bag is soft. I don't think Reddit's going to know a lot about ammo cans. I think the best thing about the ammo can in a lipo fire would be containment of the shooty bang stuff. It's funny, have I gotten any viewers on the live stream? Or am I not? It says I have an excellent connection. I have one concurrent viewer. That's so funny. I wonder if YouTube is suppressing my title because I put bomb in the title. I figured I would exactly say bomb because we are literally disarming a bomb on this stream, and that's what we did today. And now we're researching storing of the bomb that we quote unquote disarmed. I mean, we disarmed the airbag. We got it out of the chair so that I could poke it with power without worrying about whether or not I would accidentally set off an airbag and blow my seat up. Anarchist's cookbook. Yeah, next stream we're going to make banana dine. Ammo boxes are cheap in the United States. Oh my God, it's Shore Lurker. It's our concurrent viewer leaving a YouTube comment. So rare. So yeah, I'm pretty sure there are no more airbags in this seat. A little minor amount of research and sort of poking poking at the thing, it seems like the headrests that have airbags are like these two big pieces. We don't have that. Our headrest is one piece. It's got like a square button on the side, and it's electrically lifted. My brother was telling me, he's like, I don't know how this thing lifts up and down. I'm like, well, now I know. It's actually on a motor. Imagine disarming an ejection seat instead of an airbag seat. If I hook this thing up to like a steel tube, that would look too much like a pipe bomb. If I somehow connected this to a pressure vessel and then connected that pressure vessel to some of the pneumatics that I have, I wonder, they probably wouldn't, I wonder how much force that would have. It would probably ruin the whole thing, right? The whole thing would explode. Boy, and then I could use this. I could use the linear actuator to do the James Bond ejection seat, where it actually, like, this is my 600 millimeter three-phase motored linear servo that if I had more of, I could make a motion rig with, because they're like super nice, and these are really nice for robots. Sorry, I'm having trouble getting it up. I could have this thing with a little mechanism on it, throw the passenger seat outside of the car, and then the pneumatics. Yeah, this thing is like a $6,000 linear actuator that fell off a truck. And when I say fell off a truck, I mean when they were unloading it at the engineering shop, it literally fell off the truck. And so instead of using one that had minor dings and scratches on it, they bought a whole new one. And so this thing was sitting in the corner of the shop for years and years. And finally, when they closed down that shop, my buddy Krigor and I show up and we go, hey man, so like, you said there would be like stuff here. They're like, yeah, okay, yeah, here, take this whole toolbox, take this and that, and the other thing. The guy rolls up on me with this thing and he goes, hey, you know, like electrical stuff, right? And I'm like, yeah, man, has Krigor taught you about me? And he's like, yeah, do you want this? I'm like, yes, yes, I do want that. I don't know what it is, but I want it. This thing also had a brake on it, BRAKE, which is basically just a big magnet on a disc. And unless you give it 12 volts, 24 volts rather, you give it 24 volts and it releases. Which is maybe something that I could reincorporate back into the cylinder, but I took it off because I like getting my thingy up, you know? I really like being able to do that. So I took the brake off of it so that I could show off my thingy on camera. Isn't it big? Anyway, we hooked this thing up to a controller, and I did like a linebacker position against it because we clamped it to the table over here. And I had a piece of wood. I was putting my wood on my thingy-wingy while it extended, and put the wood up against it, shouldered that, and leaned all of my like 260 pounds into it, and it was able to push me back with ease. It just literally just said no and pushed me across the room. It was awesome. I don't know what I'm going to do with that, because I could make a fairly big robot with it. I just only have one, so I don't know what to do with one 600 millimeter linear actuator. And the thing is, like, just using it to do something that a pneumatic cylinder can do is a waste, because it's accurate and it can do force feedback and it can do, you know, torque stuff. And yeah, it can do like all kinds of stuff. I hate that I can only catch this live once in a while. I appreciate you for catching me when I am live. No need to butter my bread. Are you allowed to do that on Twitch? Well, I already did it. I think my YouTube metrics have completely tanked because I had bomb in a title, which I find very funny. I expected to get more fanfare over it, but I didn't get as much. And it literally is a bomb. It's just a gas expelling explosive device that is electrically actuated as part of the side airbag system on this particular kind of BMW. But the thing that we had to do for the simulator setup that I think brings value to this stream, because sometimes I get comments on these streams that people are looking for like DIY solutions and they go to my streams on them. I'm not here for DIY solutions, man. I barely even know what I'm doing. You know, I'm barely giving a fuck away. But for my streams, the value added on this one is that we discovered that we had to put the plastic of the airbag back in order to get it to retain the seat shape that it had before. But now we're in a position where we can actually put multiple, where we can poke voltage at the pins, and we can eventually make a controller that will be able to move the seat around with using the seat controls. And I'm going to make that controller speak CAN bus, because if it speaks CAN bus, that means we can relay seat stuff back to the sim controller, And on its way, maybe it'll speak Lin. I don't know. If it speaks Lin, that means it can go back to our Lin to CAN bus controller, which will also exist on a device that can manipulate, or that can show up as a MQTT device on my Internet of Things network. That way, I can give you guys the ability to adjust my seat. And if it's smart enough, I can also give it the ability to return my seat to where it was before. So I think if those seat position things are good enough, we might have a good time with this. Okay, hold on. I was just quickly looking at the calendar to say that I'm back on the 11th of December. This isn't going to happen on December 11th. Anyway, December 11th. And then we also had a sub while I was talking about all that crap. A Bridgewater with 63 months, a bridge over troubled water, 63 months, saying, been a subscriber. No, what do you say? One less than a nice round number, 63. Yeah, well, that's if you're trying to give somebody a really specific number. Like, I love doing this to people where if hey, how far away are you? You put a 7 in the last digit of the whatever it is, because all the other digits that are around it, just disable it during your insulin work. What? What? Insulin work? No. It's not Bluetooth Low Energy. My insulin pump is not MQTT. It's no. This is oh yeah. So if I'm replacing a pump on the seat, I don't think I'll be sitting on it when I replace a pump. I hope not. Anyway, that'll be dangerous. The ultimate crowd control redeem. Yeah, I may make the headrest kind of cheap, so that it's suddenly like, why is my head being pushed forward? What was I talking about? If you're giving somebody a specific number for like how long it's going to take you to get somewhere, put a 7 in the last digit. How far away are you? I don't know, 17 minutes. And they go, wait a sec, that's way too specific. If it's a 5, they know you're rounding to 5s, right? 7 is perfect because it's a weird, indivisible kind of number, you know? Anyway, that I think is it. You guys have seen that I've been kind of bullshitting for a little while here. Let me see who's live. Who's live on Twitch? People live on Twitch? Is anybody else? Nobody else is live on Twitch. How freaking cool would that be if some glitch happens for the Twitch infrastructure and you're the only one that's live? Oh, that would be so fucking cool. That would be so cool. Best BSer I know. You know, I used to take notes on stuff that I could talk about. TechSmith is still on? What is he? He's still on. I should raid TechSmith. You know, no, I'm not. One of these days I'll do it. One of these days I'll gird my loins. What did I say? Jamin's Draw. I don't know who that is. Oh, they're offline. Okay. IQ Workshop is doing their thing. Yeah, you guys, you know, you guys can find where you go from here, because a Twitch glitch happened 2 days ago where no chat messages worked like 2 or 3 times. That used to happen all the time. And I would be talking to myself the whole time and thinking, like, in my head, I'd say, this sucks. Like, I lost all my viewers somehow and nobody's watching me. So I just had to kind of go into a mode where you continue to, you know, be excited and passionate about what you're doing and talking yourself through all the things that you're doing so that you're making entertainment, right? Because that's all I'm doing here is I'm making entertainment. It just happens to intersect with my interests in electrical engineering, because I can talk about this stuff for days, and I do. But I sort of would go into that mode and be like, okay, well, everybody left. And then chat would come back and they go, man, we weren't able to type for like 20 minutes because of Twitch. I'm like, oh my God, thank you. You're back. You don't hate me. Well, I'm entertained. I'm glad. I think we had a good time today. I didn't have a airbag go off in my freaking face. But now I have the responsibility of having a gas detonator sitting here. We'll figure it out eventually. Don't know if I'll be able to get you guys outside with me. It would be cool, but it would also be a lot of responsibility to be expected to entertain thousands and not get a break. No. If you got like 60,000 users because you were the only channel that's live on Twitch, the chat would be flying and it would all be abuse, and you just ignore it. And you do your own thing. So I would be back to, instead of having the, oh no, nobody's watching, it would be, oh no, everybody's watching. Let's just do whatever. And I could talk like this, like I am right now, except that, you know, all the adrenaline in my body would be in my bloodstream. But I would be able to like talk with you guys, sort of. I'd be able to mostly just talk with myself and then do the stuff that I do. And there would be like a huge percentage of people who would be like impressed and go, this is interesting content. And it would really get the name out there. I bet you I would retain a bunch of them. That would be so cool. It will never happen. You know, it's like, that doesn't happen, but how weird would that be? It's like, oh, there's only just this one electronics guy like talking to people. Some streams on Twitch are just people talking, right? It's just this, only they don't have the electronics to play with. Just leave the stream up 24/7 to get the revenue. Yeah, it's like I'm never not going live. If I get rated by a channel that has like 30,000 people, I would be like, hey, give me 1 sec while I call everybody I know and let them know that they're not going to see me for 2 days because I will be online until I pass out. We'd have to hook up the respiratory and heartbeat sensor just so that we'd put this thing on the stop stream button. And the moment I pass out, it would then stop stream. It'd be like 3.5 days. All right. In order to not pass out, I watch a channel on weekdays where we find a low viewer streamer to send all 2,000 to 3,000 once stream is over. If you're ever on, I don't, yeah, so the American evening, I don't do. I do the European friendly time, which limits the amount of viewers that I get. It legitimately does. And so in the near future, if I get reign of the house to myself, or if it's just me and Willow here, I may try to do a more America-friendly stream. You know, at the end of the day, it's the end of my day in North America, so I am running on fumes. The LA crew has the advantage of having that 3-hour difference where they can start sort of straddling time zones and get all the way to the East Coast evening without tiring themselves out. I mean, Rabaz is he's just a monster, and he streams like 15 hours a day. I can't do that either. Like right now, my brain has become mush. We got some stuff done with the chair. We're going to get more done. We're going to see if we can hook up something that'll allow us to see the pulses coming out of the motor sensors to see if they're giving us like an absolute position or anything sort of relating to that. Sorry, I keep yapping. Hey, as long as there's interesting stuff to talk about, I'm happy to drag it out. But we're, because I'm at like 3.5 hours. And I've always said, I'm not going to drag out the end of stream. I know I am kind of doing that right now, but I'm not going to drag out the end of stream if I finish a project to where I've gotten to where I want to be, and there's no time to start something else. I'm not going to start something else or just, you know, yap with filler or something like that. You know, game streams are so much easier. They've got like a plot line to follow. We got that detonator out of there. It took a little deliberation on how to do it. We had to drill out a rivet, and then we got it back in. Everything worked, and I was very easily able to find the pins that control the motors because they're in logical little stacks. That's kind of unheard of for a car, but $40 for a used seat module, and it uses CAN protocol. But then it's going to be sending like airbag doesn't work messages and stuff. Oh, and also does that, no, that wouldn't do anything with the security system. Seats don't do anything with security. That's why my brother was able to swap. Well, no, he kept the same computer on it. I shouldn't. No, we should make our own, because then I can add MQTT to it. I know I could probably add MQTT to MQT to like a little external thing that I snap on. But if we make it ourselves, we can have it intrinsic to the operation of the thing. Just a thought. All right. Here's the end card. This has all of my non-social media on it. It has a link to the Discord. The Discord is what I interact with. You know, I don't use Facebook. I dropped Twitter because fuckers. And then Blue Sky got hacked. So I'm just no social media. We've got Discord, though, if you guys want to catch up and see what's going on. There's a whole stream project section. Yeah, thanks everybody for joining me on this. I'm going to be back on. That was a noise the chat's able to trigger. That wasn't me. I didn't do that. That was a speaker. It's right over there. That wasn't me. Yeah, I'll see you guys later. I'm going to be back on Thursday. Thursday, same bat time, same bat channel. Catch y'all later. We're going to try to like frame out the thing and put the seat down where it belongs, and I can sit on it and maybe move the wheel and go vroom, vroom, yeah. Yeah, anyway. Catch you guys later.